Brings naturally culling the population.
Well, I don't know, his name is William Bartholomew Farrell, short, that's Will Farrell.
Will Ferrell.
But I don't know where he goes, I don't know.
Well, he spends a lot of time in my backyard looking at between the birds, and then he gets in my driveway and he serenades to the two Maine Coons.
Well, I am hoping to find him a home, and if I can do that, then I'll get him neutered and take him straight to the home, because typically once you get them neutered and you take them somewhere, they should have a better chance of them staying than if he just stays feral running around all over the place.
Oh, I don't. I have plenty of Coons.
Go ahead.
I'm good.
Well,
Now
I gotta bring laser.
Thank you. I found this in my truck and I don't know if it works.
Well, you need a new battery.
Do you see the light?
I'm delirious, which should not surprise
Is it
me.
red or green?
Where is
It's
her
red.
bill in here?
Probably need battery.
Is it-
Oh, it's on, that's last month. It's on,
It's his little
she submitted
triple
for
A.
this time.
I'll have
so
to
it's
bring
not in
my-
the packet.
Oh, so we don't have it yet.
1 watt.
I do have it, but I pay bills at the end
This
of
is
the month.
start fire.
So do we have to approve it or no?
No,
Ridiculous.
Okay, well.
I mean, they
say
come down
something
and
about
Okay.
it.
Mine I bought, and I didn't know it was that, I thought it was a half watt.
I think it's.
And then when I
not
got it,
fair
I found out that it's
because
almost too
she's
bright to
been
use for
messing
astronomy.
around
Yeah.
With,
And,
she got
So,
paid last.
they won't take it back, you know?
I didn't see Atencio, isn't her last name, isn't it
ridiculous for
Atencio
some of them.
Engineering?
And
Yeah,
they've got those ones that are
See
just
it.
flashlights and you set things
Oh.
on fire too.
Yep.
Oh, no, okay, yeah, no.
but she has to.
Funny how that works, funny how her bills get submitted and I think be paid.
Laser pointer.
Can you look at your email and send me the code that Zoom sent you?
Yeah.
I
Sorry.
didn't know the uniform of the day was short.
Yes, today is short stay.
Cause it's hotter than the bowels of hell.
Yesterday was hot.
Yeah, no. I was in Springs yesterday at 4 o'clock, it was 99 degrees
I was
at
in-
4.
I was in Salida today
Oh,
showing kids the sun through a solar scope. And at noon, it was 94 out there in the middle of the sun, and it was like,
that is-
Yeah, when I was in Denver at 5 o'clock, it was still 99 degrees.
yeah. My sister says, well, she lives in Erie, which is used to be 20 miles north of Denver, now they're only about 7. And she reports back every day what the temperature is when she gets up. This morning it was 101 at 9 o'clock.
It's light.
No, in Erie.
Oh.
And, and she says, luckily though, we've only had 2 tornadoes so far this summer.
Oh, well, bonus.
Bonus. But they usually get heavy storms, right? Usually in the afternoons. And sometimes they get hail and rain, but they haven't had, this year, she said, we've had almost nothing. Our corn should be 8 to 10 feet tall right now. It's about 14 inches.
Is that as tall as an elephant's eye?
Yes. She says, we don't know what we're gonna
And
do.
it looks like it's climbing straight up in the
The
sky.
sky, yes, forgot about that portion.
They're gonna have to buy feed for cows this winter.
Can we turn on that air conditioner and cool the place down for a little while?
I had it on earlier and it smells like smoke. This whole place reeked of smoke earlier.
Well, just tell whoever's smoking in here to quit doing it.
Mother
Saturday,
Nature, you need to knock that right off.
Right off. That's
Saturday,
gonna kill you.
my throat was hurting from all the smoke.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
sinuses have been irritated.
And my little 16-year-old Chihuahua, she's having breathing issues, so we closed up all the windows on Sunday night, so there's no more smoking in the house.
Yeah, I've kept my house closed up.
I did.
Did you find some batteries?
I did.
All right. I'm gonna have to go home and get my laser.
More mess up here.
Does that thing take 3?
2.
Two.
What is that?
It's a laser pointer. I just found it in my truck and I thought
I can just like point at everyone, like you can point at the screen and.
Might have the batteries backwards.
I don't think it was. No.
Sometimes, I know mine are backwards in my laser pointer compared to a flashlight. Laser, on a flashlight, the positive goes down toward the bulb. On my laser pointers, it's positive up.
Opposite.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
The good thing is if it doesn't work, you can replace it for like $20.
They're really cheap.
You're at the wrong place.
They used to give them away.
There you go.
There we go.
See?
She's working now.
You can blind Bianca now.
Good, how are you?
So what? Okay.
Yeah, we're good to go now.
Sir.
Like I could read that.
All right, well, that's pretty small, busy, how about it?
You're not busy.
No. Air quality alert, Erie.
Yuri.
Connection.
Well, it was bad last night.
Yeah. Okay, last night, this morning when yesterday morning, it was really clear when I got up, so I opened the windows for a little while, but then it got hot, so I closed them.
Yeah, it's not good out there. My sister's in the meeting, she said it's bad down here.
So, off. Driving down. You can buy a steel chainsaw now, a steel mower, gas powered mower now.
Oh, really?
They didn't make them for years and years and years. This year's the first year that they've put them out. But you're gonna pay for about $700.
You pay more than that for an electric.
Huh?
You pay more than that for an electric, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've had my steel weed whacker. I bought it in '05,
Yeah.
so it's 21 years old now. Every 4 or 5 years, I can replace the head, because the button action doesn't work.
Oh, they got all kinds of new heads now too.
Oh, yeah, I got the AC, couldn't find it, the right one, and so I was getting ready to cuss them out. And I said, oh, no, this'll fit.
Yeah, there's a lot of universal stuff.
I think you'll never have an electric mower again. Those things are powerless.
Yeah,
Man. Half an hour later, the battery's dead.
I used to have a corded one in Virginia. That lasted until I ran over the cord.
I knew you were gonna say that.
That sounds
So then Karen went out and bought me another electric lawnmower with a cord. 2 weeks later, right over the top of that. So it's like, okay, we're not gonna have that anymore. Same thing with a weed whacker too.
There's a pattern there.
You
Next
watch
trimmer's
the
gone, too.
cord wrap around the head of a weed whacker.
Oh, yeah.
It's really special, because by the time you figure out, oh, I need to stop this, it's already wrapping around your legs.
Lauren wants to.
Okay, that's fine.
But I can move up here if this is easier for you.
Yes, better, 5 minutes back. Thank you.
It's on her way back. Well, we'll see if she makes.
Go ahead, lay down.
So did we get our people paid?
Who's our people?
The
Contractor.
contractor? We don't know.
No, I know.
Oh, you know?
No,
No.
we haven't.
No.
Oh,
They haven't got him paid?
Maybe we need to go hold Amanda hostage.
I'm just feeling like her invoice doesn't get paid until he gets paid.
Yeah.
That's not right.
Smells like
Or
smoke.
they wait till December.
I had it on earlier.
Did she have it?
He was gonna gravel some more
He's got
streets that we
one.
lost.
This is
Yeah,
Glassman's
exactly.
bills, but Aaron's got one right now and I was.
No, it's costing us money.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
it's not good.
Do you know, is Jerry gonna come back, is Jerry gonna come up, is that?
I'm not sure. I haven't spoken with him today.
Mine are on.
Melanie, do you know if, Jerry was planning on coming up?
I don't, he didn't say that last time I saw him either.
I didn't ask him, and,
Yeah. Hey, did we start already?
No.
We still got 3 minutes.
Everybody's just super early today.
We're just being quiet.
Not super in my case, but early enough. Being quiet, that's refreshing.
Yeah.
Chat about
Yeah, yeah. I've been, the stuff that she gave us, I've been looking at, and there are some ambiguities in our agreement. But you know what, almost all these codes, you know who uses our code as the model? All of them,
Really?
most of them,
Wow,
because I contacted a couple of them. Or,
well, that's neat.
but,
Hey,
and I believe in less is more. We do need some pictures to show what some of the stuff is, you know.
well, I've been getting people coming to me, we need to figure out who's gonna enforce this stuff, and I'm thinking maybe you and me ought to get
Well,
our approval and do it.
I volunteered one time to be the code enforcement officer for that stuff. And Winky looked at me and said, no.
We'll see.
Cause he knows where I would go. But I think there's room for, and Dark Skies, we have discussed this at length in a couple of meetings about. Don't take quite such an adversarial role against them. And since the Saddle Club board has turned over almost completely, maybe we could get some inroads in there.
Sounds good to me.
Scott Campers, you know, doing, and Squires and Electrics and corporations, basically just, if we'd like to help you, you know, not to, because even if they don't really understand that they're so bad, well, we can show them how to fix it.
Sure.
We can get.
There it is. I don't think that's the closest place.
Yes.
this is last month's, Board of Trustees.
Right.
I was like, didn't we already do these things?
All right.
Mine was right, I just didn't
I
change.
Mine says June 16th.
Oh, wait, no, I got it, I'm.
I just didn't
Yeah,
change it to July,
I'm good,
Oh.
I got it,
but
I got it there.
Yes, today's
Get rid of that.
wrong date.
This one was good, this is the one I printed out,
yeah,
but it's.
this, this is your agenda summary, I leave notes.
So I
I just
assume
didn't
that
change
Bob
this.
must not be here.
I don't know.
I'll
cut.
go ahead and, we'll go ahead and call this
You
meeting
do
to
that.
order if everyone wants to stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mayor Patterson,
Here.
Mr. Dombrowski,
Here.
Mr. Yago,
Here.
Mr. Shy,
Here.
Mr. Fulton, Mr. Nordike,
Here.
Mr. Wilhelm,
Here.
we have a quorum.
Okay, I'm talking to Jerry Pearl here, if he's coming or not. Recognition of visitors, this is starting the front on my left.
Pam Lowell from Shadow Ridge.
Will Sharon.
Yeah, Concord Tourism.
Lillian Jackson, North Mountain Review.
Jerry Peters, 409 South Fifth. H.A. Buckwinslow, Town of Silver Cliff.
Okay, we have a consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are routine and are approved with one motion. There will be a separate discussion of these items if a board member or citizen requests. The items may be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately at the discretion of the Board of Trustees. Does anyone want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Moses was made in second. Any discussion? My only discussion is I'd like to point out that sales tax is a lot lower than last year at this time and any previous year at this time. Any more discussion?
We kind of anticipated that last year, didn't we?
Yeah, we cut the expectation when we did the budget, I think.
Why did we think
Maybe
this year
not
was gonna
enough.
be so much worse?
No, I don't remember, I don't have that much. I only remember
We just-
pieces.
Went on the conservative side.
I like the conservative side. Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Old business is consideration of request to place a crosswalk on Main Street between 104 Main and the train depot.
I told Sarah it was back on the agenda, so maybe she's just running late.
Let the record show that Bob Fulton. Good.
Alright.
If she shows up, we can bring it up again, but I mean, I know when we talked about it last month, it was really looking to Mickey to see what we might be able to do down there in the interim for putting in curb cuts and things, if there's anything that we could do, until next year when we're able to do that.
I could come up with a number from a contractor to do the curb cuts, but I just want to make sure we understand that if we're gonna call it ADA compliant, it's gotta be ADA compliant in all ways.
Right.
I talked with Dwight a little bit and we were looking at things like if the facility is existing and they're not changing a bunch of it, they're not required to bring things up to ADA. And I know we're just talking about that crosswalk, but yes, ma'am, that's what I know.
So in light of, because we wouldn't be able to budget curb cuts and things until next year. So is there anything that we could do down there to slow people down without having to do the curb cuts?
There is a driveway ramp right there at the depot. It's already made a curb cut.
And we could put a crosswalk in, we could paint a crosswalk in and call that good for now. I mean, that hopefully, and some signs, crosswalk signs.
Those yellow ones that we have.
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the driveway cut for the depot is wider than what they're actually using for driving in. So I thought maybe part of that could serve as a ramp. And if we just painted it upright, the only thing is, I'm not really sure about how that lines up with the other side of the street.
It kind of lines up, if I remember right, with where a fire hydrant is, which
Right,
won't
you're
work
right,
well.
that's really close there.
And then we also have to look at the cross slope to call it ADA compliant, the
Yep.
cross slopes that are involved there, and I have not had time to do that.
So if we were going to do curb cuts, where would it be down there? And the only reason I'm asking that is if we could just put like the crosswalk sign or slow at that location, then we would kind of be, one step of two would be done for next year, if that's not gonna get someone mad at us.
And if we have ramp on one side and not a ramp on the other, it doesn't really serve any kind of handicap purpose. I mean, we could put the crosswalk wherever we'd like at this point to slow people down.
I guess I'm a little confused on something though. If we have something that functions as a crosswalk and it's not ADA compliant, aren't we violating some standards and maybe liable if somebody trips or something?
I don't have an answer for you, Mark. I know there are ADA ramps further up the hill, further up at the intersection, there are some.
Is
I
it our
have to say,
lawyer?
I don't know.
I don't know, where is our
lawyer? He's on.
Okay, I don't see him.
Could I ask him that question then?
Yeah.
I can see and hear you all. I don't know.
Sure.
So I don't know if you heard my question. If we do something that's an interim crosswalk,
So it really depends on the facts. I mean,
Whoops.
say again, please.
I think Melanie shut him off.
I don't know what I did, hold on.
There he is.
can you hear me well? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I didn't touch anything.
He's frozen.
It really depends on the facts, but ADA requires reasonable accommodation.
oh,
Let me try to join and rejoin, and maybe that'll help.
okay.
It's,
Let me make a comment. There's a curb cutout right in front of Rocket Pizza. And there's one almost directly across the street in front of,
That's weird. Green.
just this side, just east of the parking lot for the gas station. I mean, for the grocery store.
And the thing that I was
I just looked at it. I mean,
hoping to
it's,
make work was that walkway that runs from our new parking area out to
Yeah.
Main Street. That's a nice sidewalk there.
right,
If
well,
we can make the crossing there, but it's pretty close to people pulling into the grocery store,
the
so.
cutout on the south side, it looks like it's only about 8 to 10 feet east of where that gravel path is. It goes to that parking lot.
Well, there's actually a sidewalk goes to the parking lot,
Oh, well, then I'm looking at the wrong one.
right by the parking lot at the grocery store.
Sure. Well, this is Google, it's an old picture maybe.
I've got a question, why don't we do something like what we did at Second and Main? With those little signs that we mount into the asphalt every year.
Like we have in the middle of Main Street.
Right, down there in that area, a couple of them, it says, slow down 15 miles an hour.
That's what Mark's asking, just, can we do that without a crosswalk, is what basically.
Yeah, that's.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you put a couple of those things up there,
That work.
that would probably work too.
Well, I've seen those signs a million times, but I don't remember what the heck they say.
Slow down. Slow down.
It doesn't say abide by the plan.
Well,
As a bystander, I can tell you, I just noticed this the other day, even if it's a pretty much faded crosswalk, people take that a lot more seriously. I think maybe legally, it's a mail and a crosswalk versus where I was crossing, had the ADA slope down things, but there was no painted crosswalk. And I really got some dirty looks for crossing the street, but I was crossing anyway, that I'm gonna cross, but I'm just saying, I like your idea, but those little stripe lines, I think they carry some weight.
Well, my real point was if we do something that's sort of kind of a crosswalk, but it's not ADA compliant, what, if anything, we're in violation and what liability would we have if somebody on crutches or something tripped and it's like, it ain't fish nor fowl, if you know.
Right, and I'm kind of wondering if Mickey goes down and figures out where ultimately we should put a curb cut and put the ADA, which would be for next year. Could in the meantime, we just stick one of the little signs up and we'll know that we're gonna do the full work there for next year's budget.
Yeah, I guess I'm saying as long as that sign isn't one of the ones that say by state law, you gotta give.
Yeah.
yeah, no,
It's just a
that's
slow down thing, that's different, isn't it?
slow down. I think I've seen a couple of those in some of the towns.
So you've
So-
seen, I'm sorry.
Oh, I
We
was
got
just
you,
gonna
Dan. I
ask,
can see you now.
we've got Dan on there, so I was gonna ask, maybe Mark can finish up this question.
Yeah, my question, Dan, is if we want to put an interim crosswalk in, which is not ADA compliant, is that putting us in a precarious position legally, yet alone risking somebody with handicap,
No, I think, I'd want to know the details, but generally ADA is only triggered when you have new construction or alteration, and I don't think a crosswalk would count as that. It would be, sort of repaving or something on that line. And then kind of on top of that, a crosswalk largely would work in favor of the city's liability in terms of trying to distinguish safe places to cross a street.
Well, at some point, we would be making alterations when we did it properly, of course, but in between, it sounds like we're not talking about alterations, maybe just signs.
Well,
I
I think we
don't,
could still paint it in the street.
Yeah, I was
Can we
thinking
still
that
paint it?
maybe we could paint something
Yeah, I think
across
so.
there
Why not? I mean, I think
as
honest
temporary
to make it
until we
better
make
is
it
okay,
permanent.
you know?
right, that's what.
Yeah.
At least that would show the town's trying to do something. They recognize that there's a problem or a potential for a problem, and we're trying to mitigate it.
Yes, particularly if there are plans in motion or goals to make a more permanent correction. I wouldn't want to paint something and say now we're safe. But I think your iterative steps make a lot of sense, and I would argue or feel good that it would reduce liability as opposed to create something with ADA or otherwise.
Great, everyone, do we need a motion on that to do that, or are we good to just have Mickey move forward with that?
I think Mickey can just.
Okay.
I would do a motion, yes.
Would anybody like to make a
I'll make a
motion?
motion that we put in a temporary crosswalk down in that area, whatever seems appropriate. And perhaps with the little vertical signs that we might have to help slow people down.
And painted into.
And paint it, maybe blue, I don't know.
Paint just like a regular crosswalk is.
Does anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and it was seconded by Kit first, sorry, Bob. That we put a crosswalk painted on the street and with one of the little signs down by 104 Main where Mickey feels is the best location. Any discussion?
That does not include us doing something though next year, because we're gonna have to find out what sort of costs we're talking about. So remember when we did this stuff down here? I mean, we were talking like $40,000 for a crosswalk because they had to put in the plates, they had to do the sidewalks, they had to stripe everything, you know.
It might take a couple of years, but this seems like a good first step to me.
Can we add to the motion as an interim effort or something?
Sure.
Oh, did you already?
Any more discussion?
I'll second
Kit seconded.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. New business, item A, consideration of a request for a donation to resurface the swimming pool at Altitude Fitness. Is our person here? Okay, they're not here. If they show up later, we'll do that. Item B, consideration, what?
I would like to say something about this first off. You know, they're out down here asking for money, but shouldn't that be considered under the community investment grant? That sheet right there where we ask that, instead of people coming down here and asking.
Right, and I do agree with that. Now, if they want to come and just kind of explain it a little bit to us, I think that's okay. But we do need to tell them that they would need to submit with that. I agree.
That's our procedure.
That's our procedure, yeah.
Because you also have two other things down here too. About the highway signs.
Where is that?
Hey,
Well,
That sheet you were holding up?
this sheet right here.
Yeah.
That's like from last year, I think.
This is from like 3 years, it goes back 3 or 4 years.
So at the, just to bring you up to speed, Kit, usually we put a request, the town puts a request out for people that are wanting money kind of over and above what would be in our budget. And then there's like a list of questions and they submit it, and then at budget, we go through that and
So
decide how
we
much to
evaluate and
give.
decide what we
Yes,
want.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Right, so
I want that back,
you
Ken.
can look at this, how it goes, and usually they highlight like who we funded before
Oh, I
and
see.
things like that. So, yeah, I don't disagree with you, Randy, and I don't think that I don't feel that we're in a financial position right now where we could just give a little extra before the end of the year, but.
Are these to come out of a specific fund like
General
conservation
fund.
funds? Sure.
General fund.
No.
Okay.
Well, and you guys kind of beat me to the punch, but a statutory town or really any government is prohibited from making just a straight up donation. Certainly, if there's a grant program that they have a nexus with and there's a municipal purpose, that's a perfectly valid way to grant the money. But just I would never call it a donation, and we would want to make sure that there's that nexus, which I do think exists, but just get away from that terminology a little bit.
So it's not called a community investment grant. Is that an appropriate term?
Perfectly good.
Nice job, Randy.
Now, I guess we gotta, I think we may have, maybe not, word shall I say, I think we have helped certain agencies with gasoline to do.
That is also in there,
Oh,
that
is
is the Rotary.
Okay.
There's all sorts of
Yeah, so-
entities on it.
But all of these entities, anyone can really submit for a budget, because we put it in the paper, that they would like money from the town, whether we do it or not, and isn't there a list of questions, like,
Oh, yeah.
how many
Yeah.
people in West Cliff are you helping? And
Yeah.
it's not just like
They have to be, I think, a 401K, don't they?
401c3,
Do they have to be?
Yeah.
501,
Every
sorry.
city.
One of them numbers.
And that'll be coming up soon because we've got to
Yeah,
have it for our
we-
budget process.
Right.
And they give
all
us
are done.
their financials, their bank statements.
Thanks, Randy.
It's not just like any random whatever can ask us for money and we say, okay. So,
Everybody's brother.
anyway, so item A is, they're not here anyway. Item B, consideration of a request for funding for the holiday wreath contest and the business holiday decor. Go ahead.
Alrighty, so we're here representing the tourism board today. I'm gonna caveat my speech today by telling you I started my day at 5 a.m. in Vail under full anesthesia. She was in Colorado Springs all day, because it's important. That's why. Basically,
Do you need to sit?
no, I'm good. So basically, tourism board has been having a topic for the last year and a half or so as far as how to get more money into the area in general. We've discussed this with you guys throughout the last couple times we've come. Now with the fire being here, it's even all that more urgent. We had some great festivals. I have my tablet here. As I mentioned, I'm not making it to the end of the meeting today, but I would be happy to pass it around. All the lodging properties are in communication with each other nowadays. The last month, we all text each other. We are about to fall off a cliff as far as lodging properties go. We're booking out a day or two at a time. Other than that, all of our midweeks are pretty much empty.
It basically looks like April, like our worst month in what's supposed to be
Yeah.
our highest month.
Yeah, and we have 4 high months. Those 4 high months get us through the 4 low months. We have had 1 month and we're about to go. That's my caveat.
In general for the hotel motel enterprise of the town, right?
Hotels, motels, meaning myself, Ravens, West Cliff Suites, West Cliff Inn, Hillside, Dark Sky Suite, Lamppost, and Stellar Inn are all talking to each other.
Okay.
And we've asked if this is what you guys are seeing as well now that the festivals are done.
Tracy at Pines Ranch as well. She showed me hers
Yes.
last week.
Okay. And so I reached out to some of the retailers. Again, festivals have been in town, but if we're about to go off a cliff, there's gonna be less people in town. You can imagine some kind of a drop. I reached out to the restaurants the other day to see who is significantly down. There's 1 or 2 that actually are not. And there's 1 or 2 that are like handing out discount coupons and significantly down. The rest I did not hear from. So this is not straight statistics. This is very anecdotal. But if what I can compare from 2025, August, September, October, and show you a visual of what's about to come. And the rest of the lodging properties are kind of seeing the same thing. That is just a precursor to what I'm trying to present here. So basically, the first one is you guys supported the downtown last year through the holidays. One of our main priorities and focuses this year is to make sure that late fall, holidays, and winter are boosted. We're very happy and proud that we started this project so intensely and we're ready and positioned. We've hired a subcontractor to help with social media and myself, I do that with her. We're diving into agricultural tourism. We're revamping the website. But since we knew that you guys were doing the budget in July, we wanted to take a pulse or see if you guys want to make a decision as far as if you want to support the decorative efforts. We started with the main downtown corridor last year and we want to expand. And also the wreath contest was really engaging for the community and visitors, gave people a reason to come up here. So that was one of our first asks. I don't know if I should just roll into the second one as well because it's different, but it's within the same theme, trying to capture the people who are literally driving through town to stop and increase our sales tax revenue by eating, drinking, walking, purchasing, and maybe sleeping. So I'm going to start with wreath and the decorating idea. I don't know where you guys are in your budget, but very well received, and that is going to be repeated by the tourism board from Small Business Saturday, end of November and through New Year's weekend. We will be doing things late fall as well, but what we're talking about with you guys today is the
Holiday season.
the holiday season as that item.
And so last year, y'all contributed 5,000 and we distributed it to 25 businesses as $200 micro grants. And we had more applications than we had money. And as is typical, I'm sure, we had a lot of business owners who were really excited about it and asked if we were going to continue that moving forward. And that was one of our themes coming in here last year to ask for the money, was to roll this into subsequent years and build upon it.
And daytime decoration.
Daytime
And if
decorations.
you got money last year, you're not getting money this year, but they were supposed to be reusable daytime decorations.
Yes, and we have a handful of new businesses. Businesses have moved and whatnot, and so we want to give people a pretty picture of something to come visit and support the businesses. As we know, the fire has really affected, we can speak to lodging, but the business corridor. So we're trying to do what we can now ahead of time to hopefully have a good fourth quarter.
Any thoughts?
Last year when we helped support the wreath,
Yeah.
did you guys promote that?
Like crazy. We had
Yes.
so many people that filled out the entire card.
Yeah.
It was, we had a trash bag full of people who filled out they made a point to go to every single business downtown.
And tourism spent, I'm sorry, go ahead. I think tourism spent about $6,000 on ads between middle of November and the end of the year promoting the holiday events. And anecdotally, I talked to a lot of our guests. That's like my favorite part of our business. And so many would call and say, hey, I saw your ad on Facebook. I'm coming up for this event. Do you have any rooms? They would specifically mention the ads that we ran, citing that as the principal reason for coming up here. And so that's why we feel that it's a worthwhile investment again.
I just want to say that I'm looking at sales tax from last December and 23 and 24, and last December sales tax was 111,923. 24's was 109,592, and 23's was 74,172. So there does seem to be some momentum going on with
And
that.
our promotional, and the thing about sales tax is, I'm sure you guys are already aware, like, not everybody remits at the right time, but it is a great gauge. And last year we spent about $6,000 on Facebook alone.
Yes,
At this point, we're going to roll in Instagram, try for YouTube Shorts. We're actually, instead of 6,000, we budgeted in this year, 2026, 20,000 for off-season promotions, as well as we're about to hold a special meeting with the board to see what we can do to get over the media storm. That goes
West
with the
Coast
firestorm.
doesn't exist.
Yeah, because when I was in Manitou, I had my business there during the Waldo Canyon fire, and there is the fire, and then there is the people who thought you burned down and don't come anymore. And that lasted 2, 3, 4 years sometimes. Now, we had floods, and the media trucks would line the avenue waiting for their next big headline. And if they didn't get it, they would focus in on a little water in the drainage gutter and then rerun past footage. But we're not maybe gonna have that, but I would put money as a betting lady, and I am. Next time we get a tiny fire, they're gonna rerun Aspen Acres fire. And they're gonna say, 1 acre on fire. But they don't follow up with that fury of, the fire was out, nothing happened, We want to be prepared to combat that through tourism board dollars.
I would, and this goes back to what we just were talking about, I'd like to see the tourist board ask for money under the investment grant, community investment grant. And maybe that we should also increase that fund to cover what they might be asking for. Like this year, what are you asking for right now? 5,000 again?
Well, what was given last year was 5,000 and 1,200-ish for the wreath. So for that particular project, yes, I think it went well and we could continue forward with that. If you don't feel it's in your budget, you can do whatever you want.
But what I'm saying is, because you also have other things.
Yes,
We
we do.
do.
So I'd like to see it all rolled into one, so that when you look at our budget,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, to
Well-
come in, you know, well, like last year, you came in at
The nth hour,
October.
absolutely.
November.
The nth hour. Well, we're not always prepared, like this fire and the response
Right,
to it, we're not always in the position. By the time we get together all of our finances and bank statements and why the tourism board, at the same time, what we almost want to do, I mean, this is my idea, I haven't told you about it yet, but I think it would
They're
be.
usually really good ideas.
But honestly, at this point, I mean, Town of Silver Cliff, Town of West Cliff, and Tourism Board, I mean, we should have on our radar the drop that is about to happen and work together on it. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that, this is July, okay? Everything in blue, that's how full a lodging property is in July. Never mind the red, I just haven't charged people in red yet. This is the next 2 weeks, only the next 2 weeks. The entire, what is that, 30% occupancy? My next 4 months should run like July ran. So again, ignore the reds. That's the following 2 weeks.
So it's.
Everything in white is empty.
Empty.
If it's red, it's booked. And I am getting some bookings. Everybody's getting some bookings. We're all literally texting each other, hey, who has a room? So we can fill some rooms for each other. So a workshop to work together with the towns and the tourism board may not be the worst idea if we need to go through a grant application or whatever, but
See, and I feel that we should, since I think we do have a very active tourism board right now, they're doing positive things, that maybe when we do our budget, we should just put a line item in under our general fund for tourism, whether we use, maybe we don't use it or don't use as much as we would budget in there. Because it seems to me that that should be more of a regular expense than them coming and asking for money like the Rotary or the Garden Club does.
Well, do we have,
What my concern is, we need something that we can count on. That, what you're saying, that would be fine with me.
my question was, for that grant process that you have on
Yes.
paper, do we have a line item now in the budget?
For the community investment grants?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we have
Last
funds in
year-
it at the moment?
Last year, we spent, well, for this year, we gave 26,000 total. So-
What was the original budget for these grants?
28 to,
does anyone have interest in seeing this? I can pass it around. Gross.
pardon,
Did we get their
Okay.
individual request before we had made that budget? I don't-
the wreaths? No, that wasn't part of this.
So we don't know what they're all gonna ask for.
Correct.
For 20, so these guys are making a request mid-budget, mid-year, which is not ideal. And they're asking for us to find money to help with this wreath program that definitely has some momentum, and we did see an uptick in our sales tax last December.
And we really truly apologize for that. We were not chair and vice chair when you guys worked on budget last year, but we heard you were doing budget for next year now. So we're getting on your radar.
So I feel that it's like a two,
Yeah.
it's like a it's two things. One is they would, I assume, would like money for this December. And then the question is, do we have money to give for this December? Because as you know, if you guys are down, we're down. And so then the second would be, I would ask the board if, when we do budget, could we consider putting a line item for tourism?
Sure.
And so I guess the first thing, and it's an Aaron and Melanie question, is do we have any, I mean, could we find any money anywhere to help with this, this holiday decor?
Yeah,
Where would it come from
the general fund,
okay.
yeah.
Like we did last year.
Yeah.
And you guys are really, for that, for just the redecorating, what are you wanting?
Just the wreath decorating, last year y'all gave 1,200 and that got us 25 wreaths and 25 hangers.
And what was the 5,000 that you're talking?
The 5,000 was for general daytime decor for the businesses.
Okay.
So
So
it was-
all in, we did 6,200.
And it doesn't have to be to this extent this year. The people who had the decorations or the wreaths may keep it again. You know, we could always, we did the downtown corridor pretty heavily. There were people outside of that corridor that would have liked to participate, like Native Woods would have loved to have done a wreath. Or now the Wolf Hotel is open. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's other people who would have liked to. But if there was this money saving place, perhaps, you know, you do 2,500 in daytime decor to help boost who didn't get to participate last year, and, you know, I don't know, 600 in some wreaths, and we can still.
So like 3,500 would make you happy, maybe?
On this topic, yes.
I'm not completely understanding this. So we have a fund that is for community investments, right?
Yes.
And we put a certain amount of money in that, and then each one of these entities comes to us during the year and asks for grants in that.
Their application deadline's the end of August. So there's a whole application they have to fill out, and then when we have our budget workshop, I include all those applications in your guys' binders, and then you guys decide, you know.
And I've always felt that those applications, the ones that Randy have, in my opinion, it's been, if we happen to have money left over after we do our whole budget, we can look at helping to fund those things.
That's the way the county does it too.
And so I'm just wondering if with tourism, because that really does impact our businesses, if we shouldn't put a line item in our general budget for it. That's
Beyond
just-
this other fund.
And we have to do that for next
Like,
year.
not even, they shouldn't be included in that fund, that maybe we should put tourism as a line item in our budget going forward.
We just call it tourism. That doesn't mean it necessarily goes to the tourism board. If somebody else comes in with a project that works tourism, then
That would be.
we should be able to do that.
Right, exactly.
I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good idea, but it makes me go back to what Dan said. Does it have to go legally through a grant process, like it or not?
Well, so I guess the question for Dan, which I don't know where he keeps going. I would, and we might need to look into this a little bit, but I would wonder, is there any, do we have to do something special to add a line item into our general fund?
Well, I think his concern was it being called a donation. So if we have a line item in our budget that says, we're gonna spend this money in this line item on tourism, that's a huge category.
Well, and we're governed by bylaws, so that one of the reasons we put this on first is we can't,
We
as a
can't
tourism
do
board,
it.
decorate the town.
Yeah.
Right.
Welcome signs that make people stop, or advertising that get people up here. Once the town's decorated and pretty, you know, that maybe entices people to spend a little more while they're here or stop while they're driving through. We can do those things to tourism. Of course, we have a board we talk to, just like you guys do, you know, so.
We are that.
I guess that.
I mean, the tourism board,
Yeah.
the tourism
Yeah.
board.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess then that, what I would ask is, could maybe when we go into budget, we should talk with our attorney and decide what would be the best place for this to be going forward? Is it better can we put it in the general fund, a line item of tourism? Is it better to run it through this, or what can we do to be legal? But know that this is something that does impact our businesses, probably more than anything else, and we need to plan on it each
And
year.
sales tax, I mean, you guys
Right.
count on sales tax, and we're trying to get the entire county and towns sales tax.
Randy?
I'm gonna have one problem. If we're going to do this, then we need to acknowledge you as the tourism board so that other people don't come up and say, oh, I want to do a da-da-da.
I mean, anybody can ask for anything.
promote
Anybody can ask for anything, but I mean, should we make it to where if they're going to do that, then they need to go through the tourism board?
And so that's a question I think.
We get a lot of people from,
Yeah.
if somebody wants to do something tourism, you should send them to us. And we get a lot of people that show up with asks.
That's what I want it to be. They have to come and see you because we have acknowledged as a board, you as our tourism board.
That is,
So I
that is
think
correct.
I think maybe what we should put, a couple things like on the September agenda, and this would be a Dan question, I think also, is maybe we need to make a motion or put something in place that people wanting to make tourism type requests have to go through the tourism board.
September agenda or August?
August, I'm sorry, I'm already into fall.
Yeah.
On the next agenda.
And as far as how you're gonna title that line item, I don't think it's ever been in effect, and I don't know if there's a precedence for this anywhere. But really, in this county, we have an entire county, sadly, you know, the living area by San Isabel has just experienced probably a thing nobody's gonna visit for a while. And then we have the town of Silver Cliff and we have the town of West Cliff. So having something where the three entities work together and consistently, maybe subcommittees or a line item that says, I don't know, you guys come up with it today, I don't have it today.
I wouldn't get it.
You title it.
We can talk with our attorney about it and figure out what's gonna be the best way to handle that, but in the meantime, these guys are asking for money in the middle of the year for this holiday decor. Last year, we gave them 1,200 for that, and we gave 5,000 toward daytime decorations. We did see an uptick in our sales tax. This year, it sounds like 3,500 would be acceptable. And Aaron says we have that money in our general fund, so that's where we're.
Let me ask, you said in the beginning of your talking that you had more people asking for help with the wreaths and the decorations, than what you had money, right? So
Yeah, we had more applications to participate than.
how far,
We had about 10 more applications last year than we had money for.
Well, and quite frankly, I think the assumption could be made, it was the first year it was happening, people didn't really know. Maybe now that everybody enjoyed it and liked it, maybe we'll have another 20, so, you know, we don't know, we just we realize we're dropping in. We weren't in any position of anything last time you guys were working on a budget, we're trying to get on your radar.
Well, thank you.
We don't do our budget till what, September?
We do our September, yeah.
Are you guys a 501(c)(3) or a special
The
district?
county, Custer County Board, it's funded through, Colorado State collects lodging tax. Lodging tax is mandated by the state to be used for tourism in certain ways. A Chamber of Commerce can qualify, a tourism county tourism board, I don't know anything else, but anyways, it's mandated to be used for that.
But we have very specific ways that we can use that. And something like this is not something that the tourism board can give money to. But we could, like Bianca said, we can advertise it, that it will be there and once it is there, but we cannot allocate part of our budget to that.
That answered my question.
So does anybody want to make a motion about this?
I'll make the motion to give the
Custer County Tourism Board.
Custer County Tourism Board.
Should we do it under roundtable? I had this listed under
Was this
roundtable.
under roundtable?
Yeah.
Whatever you guys,
More geared toward the business.
let's do the
Because it's
business
basically the
roundtable,
first-
Business
which,
roundtable.
which works under and with the tourism
Tourism
board. So
board.
the business roundtable, I think that would be received better.
But I doubt that the tourism board can take money from
Yeah.
the municipalities that they're.
You got that, Randy?
I got that, but now that creates another situation. Then you're giving the money to the other organization.
Which is what we do all the time. People come and present to us for a certain amount of money, and then the tourism board can allocate it. And the business roundtable was a seed and is works in conjunction with the tourism board. But it is people from the downtown board.
And that's who we gave the money to last year.
Yes, was business
No,
round.
technically, you gave the money straight to all the
To
businesses.
the businesses,
We just helped
that's true.
organize it.
We facilitated
That's
it.
right, yeah, we wrote checks on all of
Yeah.
those, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that
And
too.
we'll work something out better with the receipts this year. We will.
We have more time and bandwidth.
Accounting involved, right?
I'm
There's
sorry?
some accounting involved. on
Yes,
Yeah.
How the money is spent.
yes.
Yes.
Did you want to modify your motion, Randy?
Yeah, I wanna modify it to, that we're giving the
Roundtable.
Business
Round-
roundtable.
Business Roundtable $3,500. In turn, they are going to give that money to,
That we will
And-
work in conjunction with the tourism board through the organization.
that's, you got it, right there.
Does anyone want to say?
For the purpose of the Christmas.
For the
Yes.
purpose of the
Yes.
Christmas holiday decor, yeah.
I would like to make a statement that we gave them $6,200 last year. And they needed more, there was more need for it.
It was the start. I
It was
mean,
a start, and like this year, it may be even more. Do we have enough in the budget to give them a
Yeah,
little
they're
bit more?
reusing some of the.
Yeah.
well,
Reusing
yeah,
the
it was
reuse.
all reusable, so we will have some more. And we really do have another project that's amazing.
Yeah.
So I love where you're going with this and the holidays are
You know, like,
important.
if 20, let's just say, I don't know, Rick extracted 20. If you had 20 people wanting to get in on it, and it was actually 30.
No,
Then we have no
we
discussion.
have no discussion because we don't have a second yet. Does
I'll
anybody
second,
want
we
to
can't
second
discuss.
it? I'd
I'll
like-
second it.
Okay.
Okay, now, go ahead.
Okay, so I was just curious, because, well, the 3,500 might not be enough to roll other.
But it's a start. It's a continuation
Well, I'm
and
just-
we appreciate it and thank you. So as you're working on your budget in July, perhaps the following year,
Okay.
let's
Yeah.
keep building on it.
Thank you.
Yes, we appreciate
you.
that.
We have a motion and a second to give $3,500 to the business roundtable that will be allocated with assistance of the tourism board for the holiday decor. You get that right?
And wreath contest.
And what?
And wreath contest.
And wreath contest. Any more discussion?
2 questions. Who's on the round table?
It's a round table.
And it isn't round.
It's a round table because
It's
there's,
us.
because there's no head of it.
Yes, it's,
So as businesses can participate, they
So we're
do.
giving money
It's-
to a nebulous group that doesn't have
no,
any
so
organization.
so the 5 people that have been continually active with it are us, Tammy Patterson,
Jones Theater.
Jones Theater, both Elliot and I was gonna say, I thought, and Scott, and Angie Arterburn. So I guess
And-
that's 6 or
and Sarah
7.
from
And
Ace.
Sarah from Ace.
With more, she said last year
Yes.
with more anticipation, they would be able to
Yes.
participate more.
Yeah, they
And then-
needed more lead time than what we had last year because we kind of threw ourselves together in September and I had a baby in November and we were just kind of,
So you're. an
doing what we
entity that
can.
you write a check to? You have some.
Right into
no,
The
you
checks
write
get
it to
written
the,
directly to the
businesses.
businesses who want to participate. So I'm
And-
sorry,
and
let me,
in what increments out of this 35?
so let me do
It
a
was
quick little
200.
overview. So what happened last year was
I don't mean
we,
to take a bunch of time, but
No,
I
no,
mean,
no.
I just see we're writing a check.
you're writing the check directly to the businesses who want to participate.
And you have a list of those businesses.
We have a list of businesses that participated last year. We'll have a list of who wants to participate this year. Same thing with the
Yeah.
wreaths.
And we'll write checks directly to them.
Yes.
To them.
Yes.
On your behalf.
And they have to turn in receipts that
Receipts.
they spent it on decorations, and if not, they owe the city the money back.
Now, that's the round table. The
Yes.
tourism board
The
is
roundtable,
comprised
so the roundtable helps to talk to and organize the downtown merchants who wants to participate can. And then reports, and we work with the tourism board. So it is it is a loose-knit organization. It's not even an organization.
of, and then the tourism board is made up of designees from different entities, right?
Yes.
There's representatives there from the county, the 2 towns. Who else?
We've worked really hard at getting board members
Yes.
that are more fairly representative of the business downtown community. So in the last 3 months, we have added one more lodging property, which is West Cliff Inn. We have 2 people from the agricultural community, Wendy Rusk, who also has a business bank management background, so she's our treasurer, and Keely Benish, who's also not only a rancher, but a realtor. And then we have also added 2 from the retail. So we have Love's Chocolate, Iva Raper, and we have Renee Smith, who's working with me on the signage, from the Lady Unique Boutique, so retail.
So these are all.
These were open seats that we had
Is there still a member from the county?
so Lucas,
Lucas
the
oversees
commissioner,
it.
is
And
overseeing.
there's somebody from the 2 towns?
So we can only fill seats as they open. So those were the 5 seats we had open. We reached out to Tony's. We've reached out to different people. These were the 5 people willing. We do have a member of the community, John Van Doren. We have Roseanne, who's a member of the community, IT person and stats. And then we have a couple ex officios. Oh, and then us too.
Us too, yeah, and that makes
And us
9.
too.
The tourism board is established by statute.
Correct, from the state of Colorado.
Right, and they collect taxes to fund it.
Correct.
No, the
So-
county, anytime you sleep here, the bed tax.
County collects the bed tax, right?
Yeah.
I understand that, but they collect it for the tourism. board.
Yes, sir.
Then it goes to the state and then it's distributed to.
Just the tourism board.
To the tourism board, and we allocate and vote on how to spend that money.
Let's see.
And
So,
there's guidelines as to how.
Yes.
I remember when they set it up. I was
Yes.
actually on it when they set it up.
It's been changed a little bit over the years. Some leadership came in and did some changes. And then,
So I was wondering, I just wondered,
yes,
they're handling funds that are collected as taxes.
Correct.
So it needs to be an organization that is transparent and they have voting membership,
yes.
you have regular meetings.
And
you
you're
have-
talking about the tourism board or the business roundtable?
Tourism board,
Yeah.
and you're audited,
Yes.
okay. That's all I wanted to
And
know.
we have,
As if it's.
we have a chair, a vice chair, a treasurer, and a secretary.
You named a lot more than 5 people in your little synopsis of the downtown.
Well, we have 9, we have
We have
9 board members on the Custer County Tourism Board.
Right,
And then we work with and help organize communication and collaboration
through the
with the
roundtable.
downtown through the roundtable. So a lot of people don't want to sit on a board. I know, you guys are shocked by that. So a lot of people don't want to sit on the board, they don't want the commitment, they don't want the headache. So this gives people an opportunity when there is something they want to participate in, they come, they give what they can, they participate what they can, and they take a little piece of everything. And it was just the beginning last year, but really great things happened. And having that kind of a format, somebody in the past suggested that it be a business alliance. And we felt that it was a lot more like you against us. Who are you aligning against? It's a round table. It's a place where people can come. If they have the time and they express concerns, they join in anything positive that they can, they contribute, they donate, and boy, last year's was something else.
It was pretty incredible,
And
honestly.
for something that,
Yeah.
again, we have been,
Bob and Chuck joined in on some of the.
Randy went to some meetings.
a lot less contention nowadays in all things, so things will be more
It was
streamlined.
amazing how it came together.
Yeah, what I was
I was
concerned
just-
with is that you have a funded organization that has regular meetings, you vote on your issues, you take minutes, you have a secretary treasurer, you have a chairman.
Yeah.
And all of those things are required by the statute that
Absolutely.
provides the tax money,
Correct, yes.
and that is
Yeah.
still going on.
Yes,
Okay, that's all I was concerned about.
yeah.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second for $3,500. Any other discussion?
We had $3,700 worth of discussion.
Strong word. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, okay, motion carries. Item C, because I know you want to stand up here in this hot building. I do. But consideration of request for funding for Highway 69 welcome signs, which I'm assuming is this picture.
Well,
It's a mock-up.
it's a mock-up. So that was just so pretty that we're trying for that. The tourism board voted through $5,000 for 2 welcome signs that come up from the south along
16.
Highway 69. And we've been approaching property owners who will possibly allow us to put those signs on the right-hand side of the highway because a lot of money advertising-wise is the purpose is to get people here. We have hundreds, if not a few thousand cars every day that are literally here. So we want to get them to stop, spend money, get us sales taxes, get us lodging taxes, because they're here already. And a lot of times when people drive through, one of the biggest comments we hear on last minute bookings is, we didn't know you had all this. We didn't even know you were here. We've driven through for years and we didn't know you were here. So I put in something, or one of us, I don't know, we put in something in AI and then we put in something else in AI, and that was just the prettiest picture. So we took that to Cardenas. Because wood is gonna need constant upkeep, he can do it in metal, the price is way too high. Through tourism board, we voted through $5,000. That sign is $5,000, but it's darn pretty. So we thought we'd give you a visual to start with. I'm supposed to meet with him tomorrow to see if we can simplify the sign to get it less. He would do the installation. He has a skid steer. They'd be on cement blocks, blah, 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 yada, yada. Again, something that is not in your budget yet. If it can't get in the budget this year, we can, this is a continuing concept from the south, from the north. We wanted to put it out there to you guys. We realize it's last minute.
So you
but-
do one on the south and one on the north to get return traffic?
Well, at this
Both
point,
on the
what
south.
we're trying to do is from the south, because if people are coming up from Texas or wherever, they might see the sign and take note of the town. They already have reservations in Salida or whatever, but they're coming back.
Yep.
And mom is on that phone, trust me. She's like, oh, this is cute. I want to wake up to that view.
I have a couple, one, make sure you spell Silver Cliff correctly.
Yes.
And then, two, didn't we do money last month for you guys for signage already? That was supposed to be down.
Those are parking signs.
Those are, yeah.
To entice people to turn left instead of right and keep going.
So you and I talked about, well, if we could talk about that. I pointed out to you that the
Yes.
existing signs are there. The signs are ambiguous, but the posts look like they are DOT compliant. So did you get anywhere on
So
that?
the reason I didn't order them yet was because of my conversation with you, and I knew that these two topics were gonna take a lot of conversation, so if we wrapped around into it at the end, I thought we'd talk about it, but basically Mark suggested that we not only put parking left, we also put RV and bus available, but it's not yet
No,
paved and there's no.
that's what's there and that's what's misleading.
Oh, I thought you wanted it included.
Well, there's a
But there is
those
no
brown
one,
signs
yeah.
with an arrow that says,
RV and bus,
pointing. Huh?
oversized and RV.
Yeah.
No, that's the blue sign, which is the standard parking, but it doesn't have an arrow. And the other one is referring to all aboard Westcliff with an arrow. It's not clear that we're trying to do.
It's not clear, and that is another, so we probably will leave that off or take that off. I misunderstood my conversation with you, and then I'll just go order the sign say parking this way. Like, we still are, those signs are to get people from that intersection to turn left instead of right, and then guide them down that street that's all striped and empty, unless it's the Bluegrass Festival and then that dirt lot, so.
So let me be clear. I mean, you guys were gonna get the money to make the signs, but what I was trying to suggest is the standard parking sign is usually white on blue. And the one that's there says buses RV with no arrow. The only arrow is in the historical colored brown sign, or whatever it is for the museum. We need a white on blue sign that says maybe just parking all vehicles that way.
That is what we are doing. It's simple. We weren't even gonna say all vehicles. We're gonna say parking left. And then at that next corner, parking right, like that is as
Yeah,
simple as we're gonna get. And we'd like to make them horizontal so the word can even be bigger.
Okay, so,
So sorry, that's the side sheet from.
Well, that's
Yeah.
$1,000.
That was from
that
my.
we did last, we
Yeah.
did that last month.
Yeah.
we did that.
So
But
where are we on that?
for this,
If you guys don't have money in the budget for this, Tourism Board has voted through $5,000. That's gonna try to entice people to start getting us on the radar before they blow through our 3 blocks.
Because people stop at Alta, they think that's all there is, they get food, they get gas, and then I will get a phone call when they're on the way out of town saying, hey, we're gonna be back through in a week, so I wanna book to stay here when we come back from Salida instead of staying in Salida again. And so I swear it happens multiple times a week. So what we're trying to do is capture those people before they have been in the Alta parking lot and made the reservation in Salida. So we are priming them, and yeah, so our goal is to prime them as they're driving up 69. And ideally, the long-term goal would be to have 2 or 3 signs staggered. Because you see it once, you're like, oh, whatever. You see it the second time, you're like, oh, this might actually be a thing. and advertise to them, hey, we have this many hotel rooms, we have this many not random, but a number of restaurants. We have shops and these fun things. And so before they sit in that Alta parking lot and think Salida is the next place to stay, we want them to know when they are coming into Westcliff that there are places to stay in Westcliff, there are places to eat. Spend your money here where you have a view. That's the long-term goal.
But you do that with a sign, or do you do that? I'm on my phone, I travel all the time.
Both.
My RV, I'm on my phone and I go to the next town. I look it up to see what's in that town.
Yes.
I don't expect to see a sign that has everything on it that's in that town.
There's a percentage. I mean, there are people, there's a reason why on every highway, every single exit sells, I believe, the highway department sells spaces. This is the exit.
They do on interstates.
Yeah, on interstates. But there, because there are,
75 miles.
but there's a reason for that, because there's some people who will only look on their phone. But you know, as you have to go to the bathroom, as you're starving to death, as the kids in the back seat are jumping and screaming and they just can't take it, and the mom's like, I gotta get out of this car, I gotta take a walk, let's stop for a coffee. A large number of people don't have the perception as they drive through our 3 blocks that there's any coffee shops or restaurants. I mean, when it is, it's too late. So we are trying to entice just like the federal highways, you know, we want to let people know so that, oh, you see that sign. Oh, what was that? You see the second sign. Let me see what's in that town. There, oh my gosh, there's the restaurant schedule. There's 28 listings on that restaurant schedule. There's 5 coffee shops. There's 3 bars. There's 2, I don't even can't remember how that break. There's literally 28.
6 coffee shops, 28 restaurants, we put all of them.
No, you don't have to, but it's just like the.
The idea.
But those are the 3 main categories there. You know, and it's not, nobody's gonna come through and be like, you know what, there was only 4 coffee shops this year, and they said there was 5. Like, it's just kind of somebody, so that mom I'm always the one in the passenger seat, I don't know about the rest of you, but oh my gosh, they do have stuff in this town.
Yeah.
What is there?
Oh,
and then you Google restaurants and coffee shops, my kids aren't gonna last another hour.
We can get my screaming 4-year-old something to eat here instead of having to wait an extra hour to get to Salida, and it's not just gas station junk food. But like, to your point, part of our goal with the social media push with tourism board is to also have that online. It's just more of a holistic, multi-point advertising.
I think the advantage we have is the fact that they have to stop.
Yes.
At Antelope.
Yes.
They
Have to
They have to stop at the other.
Yes.
Everybody does.
And we're trying to take advantage of that, and like the tourism sign down here that points people right, we're actively trying to get that removed. To
I
go.
would like to see, I don't personally feel like we have a bunch of extra money right now, especially after the month we're coming out of. But I would like to see you guys kind of maybe come up with like a firm or closer to accurate number that we could put in our look at during budget. Like if you guys would come in and talk with Melanie and Aaron and really get like a harder number in place, and then we could talk about it at budget.
Like, I see it differently, and this isn't the first time I've had this attitude. But if we were to take the booking drop off that seems to be apparent as realistic, we could be facing a tax disaster. And I think that we certainly have the legal ability to move some things from one line item to the other as a board. That, let's say $5,000, if it produce something kind of quickly.
Our goal, no matter what you guys decide, our goal is to get this done quickly for exactly that reason.
So I would think that we should consider this as kind of a
2
tax
months.
2 months maximum.
And it's a reasonable expenditure of a modest amount of funds compared to the whole budget to proceed with it.
Yeah, but it's a modest amount of funds if we have the funds, and that's where I get very concerned, because we all know how I feel about
But
money.
certainly there are areas in certain line items that we could take a few bucks here and a few bucks there.
Are
They
there?
haven't spent a dime on dark skylights this year.
would agree with that.
Yeah, I think you're not allowed to move stuff around freely.
Not really.
From what we're,
Especially with the 1%. You gotta be real
Can't do that.
careful.
But isn't the fire in our county a federal emergency area or something?
I don't think
I
that
mean-
means we get money.
Well, but I'm saying if you're trying to justify why you're reallocating a budget because our tourism is crashing, our tax dollars are down, so we needed to act promptly to get this sign up as one way to advertise to passers through, hey, stop here and spend money in our county, city, you know, is that justification given the emergency fire situation?
Don't we have, weren't you gonna have to amend the budget anyway?
Yeah.
So we have that.
I mean, we have meetings to amend the budget, so if that's the process we have to go through.
Well, yeah, but you wait till the end of the year. You don't
Yeah.
do an amendment, then turn around, and do another amendment, then.
Well, we have we not?
Sorry?
No, we wait till the end of the year.
Yeah.
To do one
That's,
big whole amended budget.
that's the way to do it.
I just, I mean, I don't know if we could, I feel like we need to have a talk with the auditor before we just try to start moving stuff around. Now, I know you guys are in a, we need to do this now situation. So I'm wondering if we couldn't make a motion pending on the response from the auditor. If that,
Yeah, I'll make such a motion.
does that make sense? Like, if the auditor says we can do it, then we could. I still.
I find it kind of strange that we're in control of this budget, and if I'm hearing this right, everybody's saying, no, you can't change anything.
That's why you do the budget, and that's because, and that's why we're audited.
That we're here to make changes, they're
Yeah.
justified.
And that's why we're audited. I mean, we can't just make a budget that goes out to the public, you know, we put this in the paper and everything, and then we sit here throughout the year and just move stuff around. I mean, it's not like a private business where you could do that.
And the big thing is projected based on projected income. And
Well, and to be quite frank, we're in a situation, as far as we can tell, if we succeed, no one will be able to tell. We will not tank. Because right now, I mean, if we break even from sales tax revenue, right now what we're looking at, August through December is pretty significant. I'm certain that at some point there will be an uptick again.
Wait, you mean the tourist board budget?
Tourism board, county lodging taxes, sales tax that gets remitted to the towns, the state and the whatever, they can, you know, they handle their own stuff, but percentage that's being spent here is going to drop. So if we do enough and we do our jobs right and we are hustling, we're trying to get so that we can at least get close to something that we've had in the past. And then nobody will even notice. They'll be like, oh, see, we collected all the same anyways. But if we do nothing, it's,
Yeah, we're trying to be the duck that's paddling like crazy,
Yeah.
but the top of the water is.
we have 4 months.
calm.
Again, we have 4 months in this town as business,
Well, I understand all this.
but we've had one. And now it's going to off-season, you know, bookings.
So Mark did make a motion, right? Didn't you? Because you said.
Yeah, I
so
guess I
moved.
didn't verbalize it.
Well, you said so moved, what I said.
Oh, I said I would do it. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so you haven't officially done it.
All right, so- I will.
If you want, or do we want to have a little more discussion first?
Well, it is up to you, Madam Mayor.
Yeah, so make it, or
I'll
make
make a
a
motion that subject to the approval of the auditor, we move sufficient funds within our budget to support the signage proposal from the tourism board.
due to the emergency situation of.
Yes, of the collapse of tourism due to fires, et cetera. And the designation of a disaster zone is a justifiable reason to do so.
Anybody want to second that?
I'll second it, and I have a comment.
Okay, well, motion's been made and seconded that we have a discussion with the auditor. If the auditor says it's okay that we move $5,000 from our general fund to assist with tourism due to the emergency of the Aspen Acres fire. Motion's made and seconded. Discussion?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Randy.
Well, I was gonna ask you, what's that sign that the state put in over here on the highway? The one that said, something about, there were 3 businesses that were listed there. One was listed the wrong direction.
Oh, the CDOT signs that have, so that's,
It's a whole separate
Yeah,
program. You have to go
it's-
through CDOT's, it's
yeah.
about a 1.5-year process, costs
Yeah.
about $1,500 a sign, and Sugar Lump has a sign. I don't know who else does.
Sugar Lump and Stellar Inn now has it.
Okay.
I'll ask you after the meeting. I just got a
I
question.
those signs when
I'm saying today, but you can call me.
we went to those signs when the scenic byways was put in place, and they wouldn't allow anybody to put advertising signs on the scenic
That's
byway
right.
unless it was on that format for the state highway. And
That's
how
what
people
my
used to get
question
their
was
businesses
going
on.
to be.
We're not on the scenic byway,
Right.
on 69.
69 is
69's not
not.
on.
So
Yeah.
those
And
people
that- and
that were
hence-
advertising for down there came from the state?
No, they paid
I
for
think
it.
they paid way
The
too much for the
business
sign.
pays about $1,500 a year to have that sign.
I'm not gonna go down this road anymore. I don't wanna touch it.
Well, as far as, when you say we're looking for money to possibly move, every year I cry for $10,000 for dark skies. It hasn't been spent this year. So,
Maybe we should-
There's marks we could take it out of too.
I mean, I'm just saying that it's there.
Well, it's still gonna be dependent on what the auditor says.
Right, depending
So,
upon what the auditor says.
and you have some
I
discussion.
do, I have some real reservations about this because in 1987 at the Centennial of Westcliff, we did a big study on putting signs as entrance signs. I even found that one of them was your property, the northwest corner of your property. The other one was the lot that Round Mountain has next to the sewer plant. Those were the 2 locations because they were controllable and accessible and all that. And at that time, it was gonna be one of those type of signs that has some sort of a saying on it, like you did up in Silver Cliff. And that is a beautiful sign, by the way, with the old cart and all that. That was a great project.
Yeah.
But it was a long project and it took a long time to pick the site, what was gonna be on it, the type of sign. The only way I would be in favor of a sign like this is if I thought it was gonna be temporary. Because I wanna go back and do all of the rest of that stuff that needed to be done, landscaping, incorporating, I've even talked to the garden club about doing it. A contest to come up with the phrase. And some design ideas, there's something with, with the wrong mountains in the background and Silver Cliff misspelled.
It's
From
just because
AI.
it's an AI
Just an
mock-up.
idea for us to look
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
but we're gonna give some money, what is it gonna look like?
So I took
Ideally
that
better than
drawing
that.
to Carl Cardenas, and he's
Sure.
gonna try to replicate that as close as possible, spelled correctly with the right
And
mountains.
see, that's another thing is that you need to do the studies on what speed are they passing that sign? So what size lettering can you put on there and how many things can you get on?
Yeah,
Those ones that are in Silver Cliff, those little bitty ones that show the businesses,
You can't read.
they're impossible because people are going 45 miles an hour. No one can focus that fast.
there's a lot of data already on the site. Like, for example, signage in Manitou had to be 9 inches, and that 9 inches, you can see it at 200 feet away is the data. So to Google and satisfy that request would be
You
really.
do have to satisfy the highway department as well.
We are
Because
asking
it's
to
on
put it on
On
private
private
property,
yeah.
not on the highway.
And maybe it should be where the 45-mile-an-hour speed limits are.
Yeah, but see, then there's still.
And we're
gonna
not
have
trying to
something
put them in
do.
town. We're
No,
trying to
we're
put them
put 'em
down
down
the highway.
Or Nordics Place and the Round Mountain out there. Those are the places that we had talked about before.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I just would like to see a little bit more put into it. I'd like to see there be some sort of a catchphrase or something, that comes up with it.
It certainly is an option of the board that.
It's an economic emergency though. that we
Right,
do this now.
Yeah,
Because we have only, how many, you say we have 4 months of tourist season?
you have July, August, September, October.
So we
June
have
doesn't
August
start
and
till-
September and October left.
Yeah. But we are launching a huge effort with a new board, new leadership, and a lot of money through the bed tax that was collected to no longer make that the case of for months that people live or die on. So we've got 6 weeks in the holidays we're focusing strong on. Winter isn't gonna turn around right away, but we have this highway going through winter
You
all
just-
year
You
round.
just lent more importance to the sign, which makes me think it needs more consideration.
Then,
Then a quick mock-up and $5,000.
okay, and that is an option. That is an option for this board to decide not to do it till next year. As a tourism board, we're moving forward. And we've gotten, things in place, more than I could probably
But
say.
you're advertising our 2 towns, or our town.
Yes, We are.
So.
But I think at some
What you think
point,
about
we have
SUV?
to trust the tourism board. I mean, that it's being funded by the med tax. At what point do we trust that board that was put in place by the county and has these 9 citizens on there to do the right thing for tourism? That's
And
our
it's an
job.
option for this board to just say, we're not gonna invest in this till next year, until we see what these signs look like.
But then that doesn't help us for this year.
It does not, but it does address a
Then next
concern.
year we come up with a competing sign and put it 5 feet from.
No,
Oh my
up
gosh,
to
are we gonna
now,
be
you
those-
guys have,
I'm not
up to
understanding
now,
that.
you guys have come up with no sign, if I may say so. There's been no sign. And
There's
I know that there
no
was a
public
project in the past, but it has not come to fruition. So we are trying to make a sign come to fruition.
Okay.
And I don't think any sign would compete. I don't think
But it's
that,
an emergency then.
it's an
So
urgent
gonna be done in a big
situation.
hurry, and this is what it's gonna look like.
It doesn't, we are still going to work on it. That was a reference, again, we've
Will
been
we
trying to
have input
handle.
Before you spend the money that you want us to give you.
So I have taken that drawing to Carlos Cardenas. I have a meeting with him tomorrow because for the last 4 or 5 days, we have not been able to meet. It's going to be cut in metal. There'll be powder coating, there'll be white litter in the middle. We're trying to not make it wood, we're trying to make it metal so that the upkeep over the years,
So it's cool.
so there's no upkeep. I mean, we could have came in with this 6-page presentation on it, but we really were not trying to take up your entire night. And I know that usually we get 3 minutes. So yes, and we realize this is a last minute thing. It's a quick thing. We're trying to pull together in an urgent situation. But that is a beautiful sign. We all thought it was great. We thought we would run with it and see how close we could get to that in metal, powder coated. Probably a little smaller. The 6x6 steel beams that he has are very expensive. They might have to be in smaller side beams because $5,200 a sign pre-installation is a lot. So we're gonna try to work with him to see if we can make it more affordable. Because the tourism board said, you know, $5,000, it gets us 1 sign. We'd like 2. So yes, we are running, we are scrambling, and it doesn't. We are not trying to put pressure on this board to spend too much too quickly. If you feel uncomfortable, please absolutely vote your heart. And in the future, there's no reason. I think if we design a sign that other signs can complement and build on with each other, that in advertising and in the community happens all the time. Maybe you don't like that phrase, do another phrase. Metal is still a great, material. All kinds of things can work in conjunction with each other. So you have a very great point. And if you don't like that one, you guys as a town can come up with another one and put it somewhere and design it differently. Well, I mean, and
So how many welcome to Westcliff main entrance to the town signs do you
it's
think?
not a main entrance.
It's not a
in
main
town.
entrance.
We're trying to put it down the highway.
Oh, yes.
We're
but
trying to plant seeds coming up
there'll
from
be
the
this
turn.
one, and then there'll be another one.
Yes, there'll be
then they
2
will
coming up from the south and there'll be 2 coming in from the north.
This one says, yeah. This one says, don't push through. The next one says, please don't push through. The next one says, if you push through, Buck will give you a ticket.
Well, you can come up with whatever phrase you like and we'll put it on that sign. But there's phrases that work, when you're advertising and when you're enticing people to stop. There are phrases that build on each other. Back in the day, Santa's North Pole had the highways in this state blanketed. And it would build as you would go up the highway. I don't know if any of you remember that sign. You'd see, visit the Santa's North Pole.
Free water, wall drug.
Rudolph is waiting for you. I mean, there's a lot of ways to have a great sign and then other signs that complement it. If this town feels that is a project they want to do, and if not,
And this is a great one.
I liked it. Everyone we showed it to likes it. Yeah, this has really gotten some wonderful reception, and the tourism board will still vote on the final design. If you have some phrases you like better, we can discuss those.
Send it our way. Come up with something in the next 2 weeks. We're doing a special meeting. But I
When's
haven't
your special
So
meeting?
now.
We haven't set the date yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah, we were trying to take off July, but
So-
But that's not, probably the last Tuesday.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second on the floor. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank
I'm
you.
sorry, can we restate the motion that just carried? Was there an amount added to that, or we basically are going to?
It was 5,000.
Okay.
Based on if the auditor
If the
says we
auditor.
can do it.
Yes.
So Aaron will have to find that out.
I will be in communication with Aaron on when that is.
And absolutely,
When I worked in the UK for many years, I was on a lot of big boards for railroad safety and everything else. And the English revere a guy from the 1700s named Dr. Samuel Johnson. He was a political commentator, poet, a wag. He was like a political comedian. Well, yeah, I used to end up quoting that, I think, and others did as well. It said, if every objection to an enterprise is considered, nothing will be done. At some point,
Then there is no need for discussion.
oh, that's not what it
We need
says.
one idea and one person. We don't need to have any objection, right?
No.
I couldn't hear it.
We only need one idea and one person. Then there will be no objection.
So.
I'm not saying that.
Item D is the sheriff's report, and I see the sheriff's not here, so I guess we're moving on from that. Item E is consideration of a request to approve the MOU regarding extended Bluff Park hours at the Smoky Jack Observatory. Is this you or is this you guys?
This was what?
Yeah, we talked about this at the last meeting,
Right.
about extending the hours too.
Right.
I think we discussed up to it was either one AM or, yeah, I think it was one AM.
So excited that.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we need a motion to accept that?
I make a motion that we approve the memorandum of understanding to extend the bluff hours for Smoky Jack Observatory to one AM.
And just that, okay, does anyone want to make a second?
They also do.
Okay, could second that. Motion and second to extend the hours of the park hours at the Bluff for the Smoky Jack Observatory until 1 in the morning. Discussion? I have discussion.
Yeah.
When you guys are down there, is there like, I know there's not, but I need to ask it. Is there like a lot of noise, a lot of, I mean, is this gonna be bothering people that are in Adams and trying to
We
sleep?
might upset the deer
I'm just thinking here.
Good.
Okay.
and the skunks.
And the foxes.
Oh, yeah, there's.
Any more discussion?
Well, the MOU is very clear on,
Yeah.
it's just during the smoke.
Yeah.
Right.
Dark skies, appreciated, sponsors, events.
All
And
those
1
in
o'clock's
favor?
good, that's good time.
I'm sorry, say again?
1 o'clock is.
Yeah, that's sufficient. There's only been one time that I've been out there past one AM.
Is that the limit? Is that the limit that's being?
Well, I don't think the sheriff's gonna be.
Randy will be in there checking, make sure.
Randy can come down and check anymore.
Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed?
I'm sorry.
Motion carries.
I was in the affirmative side of that one, honestly.
And then item F is consideration to approve ordinance number 2-2026, a moratorium on data centers.
I did some more investigation on that, and the primary data centers in Colorado or in Colorado Springs area and Denver, a little bit north of Denver. We don't have any big honker ones across the I-25 corridor or the 70 corridor. And the thing that I was thinking about it being, well, maybe it's not all negative. The stuff that I have investigated is the majority of it is bad.
And I thought that we were just putting this MOU, this
Motion.
this moratorium for a year to give ourselves some time to do the research on it. So I think that those are definitely
I think
things that
that's
we
right,
can
yeah.
all spend time working on. So does anyone want to make a motion to approve this moratorium, which only lasts a year at this time, to give us time to research?
I make a motion that we consider the request for the ordinance 2-2026 for a year moratorium on data centers in West Cliff.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded that we approve ordinance number 2-2026, which is a moratorium on data centers, and it is for 365 days. Any discussion?
If someone were to come in and ask staff and say, well, we're in a moratorium now.
Yeah.
Sorry, Christy, is this the second reading of an actual proposed ordinance?
Not-
You have, does this ordinance exist?
This would be the first reading.
So I should have said that, I'm sorry. This is the first reading of so we can't make a motion on it yet. This is just the first reading. So it's we have the reading of the ordinance 2-2026, which is moratorium on data centers. Would assume that if anyone comes in asking the clerks about data centers, we would just say, we've already done first reading on a moratorium.
Yeah, and just to clarify, you're welcome to make a motion and pass on the first reading and then just have it agendaed for your next meeting for the final. But the goal of the moratorium is just so that a developer or someone who might have an interest in a data center doesn't enshrine rights by starting an application process or something under the old rules. So you're still free to have any sort of discussions or exploratory conversations. It's just saying, you're not going to kind of sneak in before we've had a chance to adjust our code to the way we want our code to look for this. Does that make sense, or can I answer any other?
Makes sense.
Should someone, Dan, come in between now and the next month's meeting? Did they legally get started, or?
They would have to follow whatever existing processes exist, but yes, if they were to, cure or enshrine their rights before the ordinance is effective, then the moratorium doesn't exist until 30 days after the publication of the approved second reading.
Dan, do we have to have a first and second reading if we choose at the end of the 365 days to extend the moratorium or to suspend it? Do we have to do a first and second reading then, or are we just acting on a change in the existing ordinance?
The moratorium is set it's set to expire on its own. So you would be able to potentially extend it or otherwise modify it, but you won't have to repeal it, so to speak.
So it expires automatically.
Correct.
Thank you.
So do we want to just do a reading and then go ahead and do the first and vote on it next month? Or do we want to just vote on it? What?
We have to.
Well, he said we could vote on it today in the first reading.
Okay.
So we do have a motion and a second on the floor. And then what, do we just need to add in that motion that this will take effect 30 days after the second reading?
That's set forth in law. I mean, you can certainly clarify in your motion, but I think the motion on the floor is sufficient. You vote to sort of say we're moving on to a second reading. It still gives, the public a chance to come and voice any potential concerns before your next vote that would, solidify it. But from where I sit, you're fine to take the vote as is.
So we got a motion and a second. Any more discussion? Randy?
Yeah, I hate to bring this up, but now is the ordinance going to change our zoning? We're coming in and well, you're in this area, you can't build a commercial building. Is this what's going to change it, or are we just having an ordinance, just a line item that says you can't do it?
It's not changing anything. It's just saying that you can't do a data center, at least just buys us, I feel, 365 days to research if this is something that we want to not make permanent. It's not changing. I mean, our ordinances, our zoning regs are still the same. We still have highway commercial and all this. That doesn't, it's just saying, it's sort of like when we said we put a moratorium on pot shops. That didn't change any ordinance. That didn't change any zoning. We still have our commercial zone and heavy highway commercial and all that. We just said, yeah, we have all those things, but you can't have a pot shop here.
In any zone.
You're right, in any zone. So right now, we're saying you can't have a data center in any zone.
I have one more question that brings up. Dan, does the term data center have enough definition for us to disallow it?
Yeah, I mean, that is a tricky part. One of the reasons we're doing this is there isn't a consistent definition of data.
I mean, the library could be defined as a data center. I mean, I just wonder if that term is adequate to do what we're talking about.
There is an interim definition in it.
Center. So how do you define something?
And
Yeah,
I'm-
there is. Yeah, I think it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that there is an interim definition in here, and one of the reasons for the moratorium is to see how it matures, perhaps throughout the whole state. And what becomes a conventional definition.
Because they have done it other places and used that term.
Data center.
Well, and this, I
If you
mean,
read it, there is some term,
this talks about the scope and definition is a temporary moratorium on data center facility means a building or structure or land use consisting primarily of a network of computers, servers, data storage systems, or digital processing equipment, along with associated specialized infrastructure support, use and the definition explicitly excludes standard office server closets, residential computer use, and telecommunications equipment entirely incidental to a primarily commercial institution or municipal use. So we
that's pretty robust.
kind of covered our bases.
Yeah. Maybe.
Well, that's the whole point, though. I mean, until it matures through trial and error, there won't be a good definition.
Perhaps there will be a very good definition within a year.
Right,
And
right,
maybe if we research it and come up with it.
right. So do we have a motion and second?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, motion's made and second. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. All those, did anyone oppose? All those, okay, motion carries. Thank you. Additions to the agenda.
I'll
Go ahead, Ray. First, Randy.
Okay, I'm not even real sure. Our neighbors next door, you know, the packaging store. This isn't their problem, but their tenants are parking in the parking lot. Then when they hop in their vehicles, they just drive across the dirt right there and into our parking lot, and they're not paying any attention to anything. Aaron's came close to getting hit one day. I came close to getting hit one day, and I also almost got clobbered in my truck one day through there, so. And I know that they're not the problem, it's their customers.
Maybe we should budget putting like some boulders or something like we have over there at Hermit Park. Something there that would not allow people to drive through.
Or some split rail.
Or some, yeah, for sale dump trucks.
Just a fence.
Regular T-post with a sign on it.
Is that something that you have down at, in the shop? Anything that could be used or?
A sign? We have a whole bunch of signs, and I'm sure I could find something that we could do that.
And we would just have to make sure that we put it on I don't know where the property line is, so we just need to make sure it's on our property, and I know Randy will be there to tell you where it is. He knows.
I wouldn't know where that one is. A kid might.
Yeah, it should still be there. Yeah.
And
What if we used around town so that we've used some split rail, right?
Yes, sir. There's a split rail that we use over by off the bluff by the observatory between the bank and the park. And we actually take that apart for access for the bluegrass, and then we put it right back up again. And so, yeah, a split rail is not very expensive. And
Yeah, do we have any of those materials already? Over at the
no,
shop?
sir. No, I don't have any split rail.
I think it would look better. I mean, just.
Do you have it in your budget, Mickey, that you could get some of that?
I don't know, ma'am. I'd have to talk with Aaron.
Cause I mean.
It can't be that.
We
I
just have
shouldn't say
like
that.
maintenance, and repair. We have a maintenance, doesn't, streets and parks have like
We have street maintenance and park maintenance
so I would imagine that.
and town hall maintenance.
All we need is something to block it. Just need something to block it. So we can get
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, 4 spans
Three
of
big
it.
round rocks that were,
Cypher
Brought
probably
down.
has some pretty big rocks.
no, remember the 3 round spheres that were put over by
Hermit Park,
Hermit Park? Put a couple of them right there.
that's what I was.
That didn't cost anything but the gas to move them over there.
Kids will. Kids climb.
Do we have those rocks
I
still?
was just gonna say, I don't
Sure,
know
they
if we
don't.
have access to any good sized rocks.
There's those
It
3.
usually costs money if you go buy one. What's that?
There's 3 of them over there at Hermit Park.
But aren't those serving a purpose?
No, we put them there because we didn't have anywhere else to put them.
They're humongous, those things
Yeah.
weigh
Yeah.
2 tons.
You'd have to get the loader out to move those. We just have
It's
to
just a
look,
suggestion.
the thing is we just have to look and see where that lot line is, because if it's partially on our side, on our concrete and then that dirt, those boulders are not gonna be very secure.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit, but
Just have to make it.
I just feel that maybe if Mickey could work on figuring out where our property line is and what we could do there, something needs to be done.
And we also need to, and I leave it up to you, maybe go over and tell them what we're doing because of the situation.
We'll send him a letter.
You don't want me to go over.
Come on, Randy.
I'll tell him, I don't care, I go over there and I drop stuff off of there all the time, I can tell him. I will.
I think we would want something too that's a little more visible at night.
Yeah, gray rocks may not do it.
Reflectors on a split rail or
Yeah,
signs
Especially on the
also or
end of it.
And if somebody
something.
backs into the split rail, it
yeah, I
doesn't
think
do
that's a
much
good
damage.
idea.
True.
So,
Cause I backed into a dump truck one time in the middle of the darkness.
30 feet of it would do it, from the street back 30 feet and take care of it.
so Mickey, will you work on that?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Did you have more?
I just had one other thing, whenever we get around to, changing some of these ordinances and things, when we get over to Crestone Court, you know, we've got 3 properties over there that are half in Westcliff, half in Silvercliff. I'd like to see us straighten that out with this gentleman right over here to where they're either in Westcliff or Silvercliff. It's gonna cause a problem one of these days. It hasn't in the past because the town's always been able to work it out, but, you know, like you were talking about with the RVs and things. Containers, it could become a problem.
Oh, yeah, by the
So
way, I
you
saw
know-
that containers for sale on Facebook Market.
Oh, okay.
I did. Is that something that goes before planning commission? I think that's a planning commission agenda item.
Yeah.
So. Melanie, just add it. Anything else, Randy?
No, that's it.
I'm gonna guess what you're gonna talk about. Go ahead.
Well, it does have to do with dark skies, but it's not what you think. We have fielded during the course of this summer and a couple times last summer, we had to accommodate somebody in a wheelchair. Okay? We spoke this at our last dark sky meeting a little bit about ADA compliant. We are not ADA compliant down there whatsoever. And the only thing that we can actually really provide for somebody that was in a wheelchair and has limited mobility is we have one event during the summer where we could allow somebody to drive a van down there or a vehicle and let somebody out in a wheelchair and they can sit at the bottom of the bluff and look at our pictures that we put up on the screen. But as far as somebody who comes down in a wheelchair or a walker, they have, and I have had this conversation with several people. Is the individual capable of standing in almost near darkness for a few minutes to look through a telescope and be able to not lose their wherewithal and be able to, you know, stand there and look at the periscope, or not periscope, but through the telescope. Plus, we don't have a little ramp going up the door, going into the SJO for a wheelchair. It's whether, Neil and I had talked about this before, but it would always turn into Neil's point of view was, well, I just shut down the damn observatory, we don't have to worry about it, right? But anyway, I mean, it could come up and dark skies just operates the observatory at the pleasure of this board, at the town, because the town owns everything in there. And the facility. So.
My question is there any distinction between, if it's a private facility and you're offering a service, but you're not charging for it? Is there a difference between that and a business that has to provide, say, ADA parking?
Well, I know businesses have to provide ADA stuff, especially like when Tom redid all the range. He had to go through thousands and thousands of dollars to ADA this and ADA
Oh, I
that.
know. And there's places in the county that don't have ADA.
Yeah, we don't have ADA, but we don't charge any.
Well, that's
That's
what I'm asking Dan.
Oh, okay.
Is there a distinction if you're not charging for it, that you have to be ADA compliant?
Stand there.
You understand?
Yeah, can you hear me? I do not believe there's a distinction if it's if it's being provided and it's a municipal nexus, then you're going to be subject to ADA, regardless of the profit motive.
Now, I know at the courthouse, our county assessor is upstairs. And people cannot go to the county assessor's office. But someone from the county assessor's office will come down stairs and accommodate them in a ground level room. So they've come up with some way to deal with it. Are you asking that the town come up with some way to deal with it?
I'm bringing a concern to the board that,
Is it something we can study and look
I
at?
know that all aboard Westcliff, they have a sign that they have a thing that's downstairs in their like basement where the train layouts are. And they tell people right up front, there is no ADA way to get down to the train layouts. But they still have a whole bunch of the museum that they can go to.
I will just speak as a resident board member with that is walking impaired. That even though I don't use a walker, but I do use a cane for distance and for down, I would struggle getting down there. And it wouldn't just be the path, it would be not having any sort of light, and I know it needs to be, but just not having anything to help me see that would be really challenging. I guess I would ask you and maybe the Dark Skies board or however, I would like to know what you really envision down there, what it would really look like, and then maybe we can get with Mickey and see if it's feasible to do something. There's a lot of people that are impaired with mobility that once they get there, they can still stand up for a bit. And it's not just about a wheelchair and a walker, but there's other.
Well, last year when we fixed the service road, in conjunction with the town, I mean, Dark Skies gave a bunch of money to the town to help pay for the culvert and the rock and stuff. And that's done a good deal because previous to that, we couldn't, a minivan that had low center or low clearance, they weren't getting down that service road as it was before we did the work. I mean, four-wheel drive truck was good to go up and down that road, but now you can back one down there. I mean, we can accommodate somebody to get down there and for temporary work or temporary, doing something. But like if we had to, normally the inside of the observatory, there's enough room in there for, we have a computer operator and a star guide. And then we try to allow for 8 guests in there. We have bench seats along the side and 4 people on each side. It is not, they don't have to become real chummy, right? But if we had to start allowing for a wheelchair, we would probably have to cut the number of guests for that night down to half for the wheelchair. And 90% of the stuff that we look at through the telescope, well, like most of the nights now, the only thing that we can sit in a chair and look through is one object that's almost straight up. All the rest of them, you're standing at some point looking, maybe bent over a little bit, looking for the ivy. So there are some things on the planet that aren't available to people who have mobility issues. Like we don't make accommodations for people to go up the Lake of the Clouds. Right?
No, so that's where it gets, I just think there are some things that when you have mobility issues, I think if we're living here in the real world, I'm not gonna be able to do that. You can't modify every single thing, like you say, on the planet. They couldn't modify Georgetown and take out all those cobblestone streets
Right.
and everything. I mean, that's just the reality.
Right.
Can they participate in parts of the program though?
Well, we do have one program or one thing that we do usually once a month during the summer months, which is where we take a telescope, put a camera on it, and then collect images and we display them on the screen on the outside.
Right.
That's what all those bench seats are for out there. And in the past, we have 2 times that I know of, we've brought people who are in wheelchairs, allowed them to, you know, come down the little service road, get out, sit in their wheelchair, and they can see the screen. So that is available, right?
So you are offering some service.
We do offer something, but we don't offer the general thing that's available to everybody who's not mobility impaired. I've had guys down there, I had Barry Keane down there with his crutches, right? And I said, Barry, you ain't climbing my ladder, but you can go look at this guy's telescope that was closer to the ground, right? So there, we do try to make accommodations, but, I don't know, it's just a concern that we voiced at the last meeting, and I thought I would bring it up here.
Well, I still would like you to kind of find out what you envision or what Dark Skies would envision that something to make it more accessible. Whether or not we can do it, I don't know, but at least we have something to work toward or we have an amount.
I guess what we would like to know is if we are required by law to do something, to make it fully ADA.
And it sounds like with Kid's question, we're not.
Okay.
Cause
Dan has to say.
I mean, Dan, well, Dan, Kid asked Dan the question.
So Dan, the question is understanding that this is not always available, the things that we're doing may not be practical for somebody that doesn't have the wherewithal to do the things that the observers need to do, like stand in almost near darkness. Like when we're operating down there at night, we cover the computer screen so that it's darker in there. The darker it is, the better chance that we can see a galaxy or a nebula. That's why we don't run the SJO during full moon, anytime the moon's greater than 50%, and or the rodeo.
So the question for Dan then is, and I think Kit asked it, but is our censuses in our park but they're doing events that are not being charged for are we or Dark Skies required to be ADA compliant?
Well, yeah, yes. I mean, ADA is a federal law. But what I would say is kind of to your point, Mayor, you know, there is not a perfect world where everything can be perfectly the same for everyone. The key with ADA generally is reasonable accommodation, and that's a sliding scale, right? Some things you can accommodate very reasonably, and sometimes it's like there's not really a way. But as long as like you're open to that discussion and you're not like sort of just shutting people out and not listening and trying and accommodating if and how you're able, then you're in compliance with ADA.
So if we said that we had 4 events during the summer, 1 each month, that was ADA accessible, we would be compliant?
I mean, in my mind, yes, that seems very reasonable. You know, I'm not going to promise that a judge or someone wouldn't disagree, but yes, I think if you're offering like experiences, not identical experiences, then you're well within ADA. And I do think that law contemplates just, again, it's a big effort and there's lots of expenses, but the goal is to just, you know, make sure that we're trying to give equal footing for as many people as possible to experience things they can.
So would it be wise if the observatory had some language, perhaps you could help with, that said that not all things are reasonably accommodable, if that's a word?
Sure.
You know?
Yeah, some signage or
Reasonably
notice,
accessible.
but yeah.
I'm sorry?
Reasonably accessible.
Like we could publicly post on our website that the electronically assisted Where we take the
provide
pictures.
reasonable accessibility.
is accessible.
We offer ADA access to a portion of our program.
Right, all right. I'll work on that. All right, thank you, guys. Thanks, Dan.
Yep. And happy to be tagged in if needed.
Okay.
Any other additions to the agenda? Okay, move on to staff and committee reports. We heard from item A is report from Jerry Pearl regarding the infrastructure project. He's not coming tonight, but he did send me a text, and we heard from him the other day when we were at our workshop. But he says he has a meeting at 6 o'clock until probably 7:30, and I have to leave. The only thing else is he's got to finish cleaning up. I think everything else is done. The only question is he still hasn't gotten paid for that last pay. I will just say that I know Amanda has submitted a bill to Aaron for this month, and I don't feel that she should get paid until we get this figured out.
Say that again?
I do not feel that we should write the check to Amanda for her fee until we get Ed paid for the work that he has been fighting tooth and nail to get paid for since it started.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just can't make a I don't know if we make a motion on that, but any update on that pay app getting paid?
I haven't even seen a draft of it.
Maybe you need to reach out to her and ask her what is going on with that.
I know she wanted all the testing done, everything done.
Which is done, isn't it?
Before his first pay?
Before it's-
Oh, no,
Maybe.
he's gotten a first and a second pay app, but the third one is what I have not seen.
But the second one, he had put in for, I think, I'm just gonna just go with an even number, 450,000. And she changed the pay app to 40%, 60% less than that. She changed it. And so, which I didn't even think you could do that, but, and then we did write the check for that amount just because we need to get him some money, and he's starting to talk about bringing attorneys into the picture. And I'm not saying he shouldn't be talking about that. And so we did write that. And so now this third pay app should be the final pay app and include that 60% that she took off, plus plus the final. And plus you have to remember that there's still 10% of the entire project retained, and for, is it 60 or 90 or 30 or 90 days? I can't remember.
It's a period of time.
Yeah.
And it's after the last payment.
Yes, with that. And so
It starts at that.
there already will be 10% of that $650,000, $65,000 that will be held back for whatever the allotment of time. And I want to say 30, but it could be longer. That if there were a problem that gets found out, that money is there to go in and do those things. So I have felt all along that not paying him when Jerry has said, yeah, this looks good and is acceptable, it is unacceptable. And Dan said we really do have to have the engineer sign off because of the grant. So we're kind of at her mercy. And I kind of don't feel, if this isn't a priority for her, I don't really understand why her getting paid is a priority for us.
Have all the tests been done that she's asked for?
I don't know where they're at with.
They've been tested, but she was waiting for the final reports from the engineers that did the compaction tests and stuff like that. Round Mountain is, they've done their pressure testing, they've signed off on all of what they need to sign off on.
Well, I can understand her being reluctant to sign off on stuff unless she has the actual physical paperwork in front of her that says that it's good. Because if she signed off now and then the report was different.
But he was asking for payment of work that had already been completed that didn't really have anything to do with the testing. It was just like putting the lines in.
And that was the part that was reduced by 60%.
That should be paid.
Dan, you've been listening?
I have, yes.
So she reduced his last request for payment by 60%.
Right, or I've heard that, yes.
He hasn't been paid for that, and then he has put in for his third and final payment. Is it reasonable if we reduce her request for payment by 60% until we could get him paid off?
I would probably not recommend getting into sort of a tit for tat like that, but I do think there's no issue with withholding her payment until you're satisfied with the services, even kind of, I don't want to say like worst case scenario, but you know, the state by state law, you have 45 days from when you've received an invoice to even pay where before interest comes into play. So you've got some levers to pull if need be. And I'm still happy to kind of just have a phone call or something. You know, part of me kind of heard we're near the end and maybe it's not, you know, the time to ruffle feathers, but yes, certainly that you should not pay her until you're satisfied with the job she's doing under the contract she has with you all.
I'm not satisfied until it gets paid. This has been ridiculous. That's me. And I don't think we can make a motion on that. I think we just have to, general consensus is.
When's our 45 days up?
When did you get that invoice?
A week or two ago.
So the 45 days would be up, what, at the, at beginning of September roughly?
So we'll have another meeting before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right.
Let's meet.
So that's about that, and then item B is streets and parks supervisor report.
Just normal, summer operations with mowing, watering, trimming trees, sweeping with the new sweeper. We've made a lot of progress with that. We run that out usually every Monday morning down Main Street, trying to get picked up from the weekend. We've had some pretty busy weekends, a lot more trash, bathrooms cleaned more often. The hardest part, and I'm sure everybody's noticed, is the bluff. It was just tough. I mean, Saturday was the 4th of July, and Sunday, bluegrass started moving in there. Jay with the bluegrass folks, he did some hand watering there. My guys mowed a little bit before after the big tents went up before the event. And now, with working with the fire folks, it looks bad. And we've kind of formulated a plan. We're water, we're gonna aerate. We're gonna do aeration a little different. We're gonna pull plugs from here on, possibly some seeding, but we can't, it's been so hot and it's gonna be so hot, we have to be careful that we're not putting something down that's not gonna take. It's just, but water, and try to get the bluff better off. Maybe not as good as it would be during the normal summer, but better off before fall and before it goes completely dormant. I met with our asphalt contractor down at the tennis courts, and I may be opening up a can of worms here, but unless I'm told by you folks, I'm not putting any more effort into the tennis courts. The wind pulls the paint off. I mean, I don't know how many days we spent down there dumping sealer into those cracks, and it just goes and goes and goes. And then at the crack, now we have a buildup of asphalt that if you really wanted to make it a plain surface, it'd just be a mess to clean up, to make it right. And I feel it's just a Band-Aid. I had the asphalt contractor come down and talk with me about capping that with another layer of asphalt. He thought first we'd put a leveler cap on it and then a smooth cap on top of that. We already have the paint that we were going to use this year. It's already at the shop. I think that we need to do some research and find out what the best adhesion agent would be for that paint. And so that's where I'm at with the tennis courts.
I will tell you that we had someone reach out, the person who's kind of always been the tennis court person, I would say, reached out to Paul and myself back in February and said that surface is bad. And I guess when we paid for a resurfacing in 2022 and were told at that time that it's supposed to last about 2 years, and it never has been resurfaced since then. And so I did tell her at that time that we were already after budget, we couldn't talk about that, but that we could discuss that for the 2027 budget. Now, discuss it does not mean we're going to approve it. Discuss it means just like what you said, maybe we say we can't do it, this is not feasible anymore. I don't know, but just know that, and I guess, so I asked, how much did it cost to resurface it last time? And in 2022, I think it was like 26,000 or something. So, I mean, you guys would know, you would maybe remember, you were, here at that time. It was, Aaron said that it was done by Athletic Court Surfaces, and it looked like we paid $27,244, split up in 2 payments. So I had asked Aaron at that time, okay, we're gonna need to discuss this at budget. So maybe it's best for you to figure out what it would cost to do it, so we can decide at budget, we can talk about this or we can't.
In the past, wasn't it discussed on the board that unfortunately the original build lacked sufficient subgrade, rock formations and for proper drainage? I seem to think that was on the record.
Compaction, there's a lot of
Yeah,
things that were wrong with
that
it.
sort of thing, yeah. So I wonder if the question is, we're band-aiding after band-aiding, at some point we're gonna have to bite the bullet and do it over.
We're not getting this, we had no warranty with any of the previous work.
Oh, no, it was forever ago. Well, I mean,
4 years.
right, but yeah, they said it would last 2 years, and here we were 4 years later. And I mean, maybe what we have to discuss is now that Silver Cliff is fixing up their park and they have all of the, what's the game, Buck? Pickleball. Maybe we don't need a tennis court. I don't know. I don't want it to go out that the mayor said we don't need a tennis court. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying maybe we need to discuss it. Yeah.
Oh, to take it back, then I just put it.
Oh, yeah, great.
It's absolutely subgrade prep. You can see it in where the cracks are.
Lack of subgrade.
Yes, sir, lack of, it's a bad subgrade prep. And I just imagine there's these huge boulders of sealant laying underneath the ground, because I mean, we just empty it and empty it and it runs and runs and runs. So, and it's funny you say 26,000, because that's the number that the asphalt guy came up with, putting this new cap over the whole thing.
The cap's 26-inch layer or something thin like that?
He said a 2-inch layer to level it,
Yeah.
and then the finished layer on top of that, so probably be like 2.5.
That's gonna crack too.
That's a Band-Aid, it's just gonna do.
I'm not a fan
When I
of
asked
throwing
him-
good money after bad, that's for sure.
Right.
Does anybody have a feel for how much use it gets?
I mean, every once in a while I see folks, but I mean, I don't suppose you stand there and watch, but I do see folks. And there's a lady that usually has a bunch of kids out there.
Danny,
And
Listens.
and that would, yeah.
And my thought also was, if we could include that somehow, maybe not in the paving plan, but a side part of the paving plan where it would be less expensive on mobilization and all that kind of stuff. And I could also talk to him about what kind of warranty he would do for it. And I did hear about that last time it was prepped, and it didn't sound like it was very, I mean, it sounded kind of hokey the way it was described to me.
Well, the demo required removing the fence and everything to demo and get back down to
Yes, sir. And-
subgrade, so.
And yes, sir, and part of the new asphalt, we would have to move a section of the fence, and we'd have to extend the net posts, but, I mean,
Well, up on the top.
Y'all put new ones in, Buck? Put new pickleball?
Sir?
New pickleball courts, didn't you put them in?
I can't.
New pickleball courts for yours. Did you build new ones?
Yes.
Upgraded what you had?
No, we're gonna discontinue the old skate rink. That's where the temporary
Right.
pickleball courts are. So we're putting 4 new courts in.
What was it costing?
What's it
Top of
cost?
my head, 300.
Wow.
You could buy a Ferrari for that.
That's right.
See, and then to me, it comes down to how many people are using it, and is it cost effective to spend the money like that on, we can't just keep Band-Aiding it, that's waste, that's being wasteful, but we do need to research it a little bit, because Annie did reach out and we said we would talk about it at budget, and if it ends up being a talk that is, yeah, we can't do this, and that is gonna be tough, but we'll have to talk about it.
Well, people don't have another option. That's the only tennis courts around.
Mhm.
So, I mean, maybe there's grant potential there to get something going.
And
Connected
maybe
with
they're
the
fine with, I'm sorry,
No, I just.
and maybe they're fine with it, maybe I'm being too.
No, they're not fine.
No, they're not. I've heard people, you can't hit a straight ball.
Right, exactly. I'm not playing tennis, but I can't imagine how that would affect the ball. And then one other thing, and I'll be quiet, the baseball field backstop and fencing. I contacted a chain link guy in Silver Cliff. He's gonna meet me out there and just take a walk and look and maybe hopefully give me some ideas and maybe a budget. But the backstop fence, it's all curled underneath and, you know, all the jagged wire and the tall actual backstop is, you know, it's real shaky. So I'd like to see if we can get some new top rails, some new fabric, and then at the top actually bring out some hip, I don't know what to call them, some hip posts that make for like the foul ball, and that would help hold that.
Everything together.
I thought when I was on the parks, that we said, and we brought it to the board, we weren't gonna do anything because we weren't going to do anything with the baseball. We're gonna do away with that diamond over there.
Right.
You know, we did do
That
that.
was the part of the 5-year plan for the parks.
So, you know, I mean, if we're gonna go over and start spending a lot of money fixing up the baseball diamond, when the board actually said a year ago, no more, do away with it then.
Because they have
You
so
were
much
on
in
that.
Silver Cliff.
Well, and Mickey, I don't think Mickey was here then, so he probably didn't know that and did it. And I will say that after we did that, like, the amount of people I noticed playing baseball over there,
Right.
like, tripled.
Yeah.
And then I feel like, ooh.
I
started
all the time. I can sit in the backyard. throw the
And
ball
even
for-
when, like,
and see them.
even though right now the baseball field up in Silver Cliff is kind of down because of the remodel, even before that was happening, and it was literally like the week after we made that vote, I saw a huge increase in people using that.
Well, I think the whole plan that we put last time there's a lot of confusion about, in my mind, about what its intention was. It was a development plan subject to a phased development, as circumstances allowed. And we never had funding to implement the whole thing. As a matter of fact, we've done very little of it over
We
the
haven't done
years.
anything.
Well, the shade things, as a matter of fact, I asked you about that, but
Oh, you forgot if we're gonna give that money to the, never
Give
mind.
it to the sign.
No,
so my answer to you, Randy, is that was the proposal.
that was the proposal.
And we were only being incrementally funded step by step. And there's been no attempt to incrementally fund anything there one way or the
Well,
other.
yeah,
But I
But
will
what I'm
say
saying
that
is-
when you were off the board, we made a motion and Randy brought it to the board. A motion was made and passed that we would do away with the baseball diamond.
That I'm unaware of.
Yeah, I know, and again, maybe I know we did that, and I don't know if maybe it needs to be brought up at another meeting, because I'm serious, I see so many more people over there than I ever have, and it's not just like organized, it's little throw-togethers.
And so the church next door uses a lot, which I know neither here nor there. But this year, well, it's because it's my first time involved with the parks and stuff. There's a team, some folks that have started a girls softball, and I think it's Little League Baseball, and they have a huge turnout a couple times a week. I mean, I don't know, 40 kids and all their parents are parked there, and they have equipment where they're batting off a tee, they're throwing nets. I mean, they've put a lot of effort into what they're doing.
But I'm wondering if typically those kids are in Silver Cliff and they're only here right now because Silver Cliff's park was down, and I can ask.
Is it still down? Somewhat, yeah.
I see.
I don't, I don't know, any other report?
No, ma'am.
Oh, what about the shade structures?
Yeah, how does?
I'm waiting for one more, quote from, I've got 2 out of the 3. I have 2 of them that are within a couple $100s of being the same at furnish only, and that's about 24,500, within a couple $100 of there. And then for install, I've got one, it's at almost 55,000, and the other one at 67. Yeah, it's crazy how big of a difference it can be. But I'm waiting for the third one that I think he's just been real busy because of the time of year. So I'm waiting for one more.
Any other questions for Nikki? I just want to say that I found out on Sunday or Monday, that fire camp is leaving on Thursday. They're going 30 miles south. I said, are you guys going to Gardner? And they said, no, they're going to some state land down by Gardner. And they're setting up the whole operation down there on some state land. So we'll see them off the bluff, we'll see them out of our parking area, out of the school on Thursday afternoon.
So the football team can use the field if it still remains, huh?
Yeah, apparently, so glad we can be of service to them while they need it. Randy?
Just get back to the tennis courts. When I was a treasurer at Oak Park, we had 400 units. We had tennis courts. $24,000 we put in to resurface them. 2 years later, we ripped them out and made a playground out of it. When I went to the budget meeting originally, and I don't remember who was really pushing for the tennis courts. And they had, oh, well, this is what it's gonna cost. You know, everybody was upset about that. So they did some checking, and what you got over there now is about half of what the original cost was going to be, but it's asphalt. Stuff don't work. It's garbage.
Right.
It needs to be ripped out and done right if you're gonna keep it. Bite the bullet and spend the money.
What
I
is
told
the
them-
surface?
I'm sorry,
What would the surface be then?
concrete.
Is it concrete?
It's concrete, and I don't know how it's, the foundation or anything else of it is set, but it was concrete.
And then they coat it with something, right?
They did something with it. Well, we didn't do that. We asphalt the same thing that you guys have done. And, 2 years later, it was gone. It was garbage. And I told the board at that time, before I was on the board, don't go that way. You're just gonna waste your money. And all what you've done over the years is put Band-Aids on it. All those Band-Aids are more, you could have done that thing twice over professionally with concrete and gotten it done right. So, if you're gonna do it, bite the bullet, do it right.
So we are going to be discussing it during budget because of Annie's email, so I think that we definitely have some things to discuss about it.
And it was going to be expensive to do it in asphalt when we decided to do it. I mean, concrete, when we decided to do it in asphalt, it was like $75,000. So that was 30 years ago, so
Yeah.
get ready for a real big bill.
Any other questions for Mickey? Thank you for being tolerant with the fire camp down there.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, I ask almost every day, do you still need the bluff? Do you still need the bluff? Do you still need the bluff? Oh, yeah, we got coming tonight. And there are 3 tents down there.
Yeah.
So, but and you hate to get pushy about it when everything that they're doing and the work they're doing and everything, but
And I will
you're
say
ruining my
that
grass, you
the
know?
bluff was in rough shape before after, like you said, 4th of July and then rolling right into Bluegrass. It did not look good before those firemen got there, so I don't even think we can put any blame on how it's going to look on Thursday on the fire camp, because it was like, oh.
We appreciate your extra work with fire.
For just lack of water, I mean, you know.
Glad to see you getting it. You got an aerator with the plugs. That'll pull it out of the front.
No more than that.
I'm glad you did that. That is the best way to go.
Yes, sir.
Town clerk reports.
We're in the middle of our audit right now. And then our website has been, once a year, the state audits our website to see about the accessibility. So the web developer is almost done remediating everything on our site. So if it's looked a little off, funky, that's why,
Slow.
yeah.
I know some of you know this, but we need to migrate our email server. It's on Fat Cow right now, which got bought out by somebody. So it's not even, you can't even go to the site to do anything with our emails. Like mine is now at 90% full. So when it gets full, I won't get emails anymore. And there's nothing I can do about it. So we talked to CBS, Aaron and I had a meeting with their pitch guys. And they pitched us a bunch of things. We asked them about cameras because those other people sent us like test cameras and then never followed up. We saw their cameras and they won't answer my emails about setting that up. So CBS said they could do that too if we wanted to do it. But I asked them to just pull out just the email migration and it would be $41,000, $41,855.
To what?
To migrate our email from Fat Cow server to Microsoft. So that's taking all of those. And we'll have, and 4,000, yeah, 4,180.
Oh, not 41,000.
Oh,
That's
no,
what
no,
you
no.
said.
I'm sorry.
I was like,
That's what we're not gonna write, get our own servers.
yeah, I'm like,
Sorry.
let's
Cut your ass.
Davidson.
I was trying to, yeah, okay, $4,100.85. That's quite a big difference.
way to get us to be like, oh, no big deal.
Wake everyone up.
Sorry, right. So anyway, that's the email migration and then we would be good and we have to do this and it also includes like them checking for spoofing. That's like when it looked like Paul sent us an email asking for gift cards or whatever. So they will monitor for that and
their security.
yeah, and they already have they did our firewall for our internet and all of that. They're already helping us a lot. And so if we migrate our email, we'll keep the domain and all of that. And so your Christie at Town of Westcliff would work and everybody else can have their email. Like I can't give Mickey a Town of Westcliff email address. He has to have a Gmail because it would route through that. So
And I will tell you guys with the Gmail, like, so I've been communicating with the Forest Service throughout this, and that Gmail accounts automatically go to their spam,
yeah,
and they have to pull them out. So I'm using my personal email because I have no Town of Westcliff email, and I'm talking to the buyer for the forest, and I'm calling her after I sent an email to her 3 days ago, and she's like, well, I haven't gotten anything. And I'm like, well, I sent it. And so we ended up, I had to email what I was saying to Aaron, because Aaron's Town of Westcliff email works, and Aaron would forward it over. I mean, it was ridiculous and it was very unprofessional.
it's very unprofessional.
How many email addresses does the town have?
It's hard to tell because I can't get into the Fat Cow account to even change things. Because, I don't know, I know right now we have 10 licenses, but that's for staff and now like mine
And
is,
they're providing the web server and our email server?
yes, Fat Cow is, yeah. Well, and they would get forwarded through Gmail, so if we're gonna migrate everything to Microsoft, so we still have Town of Westcliff and there's no Gmail being involved. I don't know who set this, when it was set up originally, it's like a forward system, so you have to have a Gmail or another email
Right.
account.
And
And
it's
you know,
totally, we need to just have
Yeah.
it go where
It just-
that domain name is ours and.
Exactly.
we have, you
I
know.
may come up and talk to
Yeah,
you
because if
tomorrow.
it's.
We could actually, as a possible solution,
Because they figure
we
anybody
could do
who's
our
Gmail
own
servers
servers, do network solutions.
Mhm.
So
And
it's credibility.
It's okay.
Tell you, just for me, for Yago DS, I have 25 email addresses assigned to me.
Mhm.
Mine costs like $300 every 3 years.
Yeah, this
And it's
is
a
we can
domain
keep it.
service, an email service, and a web
Right, but
service.
I think it would be better to have this, personally, this is my opinion, this company do it, because if there's turnover here in staff in the town, like if I know how to do it and administer it and then I leave, then Aaron doesn't know how to do it, does that make sense? Because if it was just me and my business, that would be fine, but this
I
is
think
like,
with government also, we have to be a little more, it's not just like doing it your own self or your business, you know, it's gotta be a little more security involved.
it can be audited at any time. Yeah,
Well, plus we're dealing with other government entities.
right, yeah,
And our address has to get into their system as well, so.
right.
So, yeah, you need to move forward with that.
Okay.
Anything else?
The camera thing they would throw in, somebody has to come down to do both things, so if we did them at the same time, it would cost less. The 2 cameras and the email would be $6,000, $958.15 and plus tax. So I don't know if you want them just to come down and just do the email migration first and we can figure out cameras later, but then there will be we'll have to pay their cost for per diem and travel and whatever again.
I just kind of think we need to go with the email or.
I'm agreed, I think we just need to do that and do it.
So do you have a budget for this sort of thing?
Yeah.
It would be like office maintenance or I don't.
It'd be town hall maintenance.
Yeah.
Is
And
what
we
all
talked
our-
about this at the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just piling up and now my email is almost full, so then I'll have to work off my Gmail and look.
Can't do that.
Yeah, it just looks ridiculous.
Does any of this affect permit system that we've brought into?
No.
Is that working all right?
It's working okay. I mean, people just don't naturally go online to look for to do permits here unless they're from out of the county.
Well, I know over in the zoning office that they're being real careful about, they get requests on permits
Yeah,
for everything over there.
yeah, I
So when
haven't,
they refer them to the towns, they're saying to go to the website.
I don't know what they're saying over there. I
Well, they
haven't,
are.
they
That's what
are, I
they're
haven't
doing.
had any come through that.
But it's been their protocol to tell people that's in Westcliff,
Okay,
go on their website, go on
Okay.
Westcliff.
if they're
So
going on the web, I haven't gotten any requests because it will send me an email when something goes through there, so
maybe they're not even doing it.
maybe they're not, I don't know.
I mean, it might just be referral calls and people don't do it.
Yeah,
But what I'm getting at is they're trying to make it so that it
Yeah,
goes
it's-
to your system.
Right.
So,
right. I didn't see anything, I need to catch up on all of that too, but it would send me an email if somebody submitted a permit and I haven't seen that.
Anything else? Public comment? Anyone?
Are we in public?
I just,
Those that haven't burned up and passed out,
this guy on the
thanks.
floor too.
I'm with the dog.
Yeah.
What is his name? I know his name.
Her name is Troy.
Her name is Troy.
Troy.
What happened?
Riker's girlfriend, Star Trek.
Oh.
Oh, boy, again, Helen of Troy.
We had a Riker too back.
Okay, so,
I really do have something to say. So, it's been really refreshing and it's been incredible to work with you on issues that affect both of our towns and be able to complement each other instead of compete and bump heads. It's really been a treat. Everything from, what have we been doing? Prop 123, data centers, camping, just a myriad of things, and it's just been great. So, thank you.
Maybe we can just start to that.
Fighting or getting along. I'm happy to work with, I still feel that if one of us is succeeding, we're both succeeding, that
Yes,
we really
sure.
depend on each other, so the best thing we can do is work together.
And that's a message from Mickey too, is that, that at every level, the towns are trying to cooperate. So I know we've got the same kind of thing going on in your department as well.
Yeah, we got through that.
It's a good thing.
And also, I'll reiterate, we had an awesome meeting last Friday here. Last Friday?
Yeah,
With,
Friday afternoon.
Workforce Housing Committee and Christie to get her up to speed. Who else we have? We had Mike else was there.
Buck.
And all of us,
It was-
learned a lot.
It was you, me, Buck, and it was Barry and Steve Laswell, and then Lucas showed up very late, like we were already almost done, and it was just to understand where this business is fast-tracked, trying to get information quickly, so that the project that's supposed to be starting in Silver Cliff can start, even though we don't have a housing authority in place. That's this issue. And then the other was how the LPC grant that we have, how we need to be working or not working with the county housing committee. Because it seemed that the county housing committee had the feeling that they should just be able to, we got the grant and they should just be able to have it and do whatever they want with it. And we had to kind of explain that, no, the town's got this, Melanie's administering it. And she was working on talking with the, with TJ, the consultant, about kind of putting a limit on how much time the workforce housing committee reps can bend his ear without it negatively impacting the grant that we got. Did I get that about
Yes.
right?
Yeah, and I did talk to TJ and explain that, and he is fully aware, and he's out of office for the next 2 weeks, but he's gonna get going with his plan. But so he understands what is to be understood.
Okay. So, yeah, because it was about to be tried to be commandeered, I would say. Does that sound right, Buck? Does that? Okay.
Absconded, I would have
Yeah.
said. If you're a politician, I would have said absconded.
Any other discussion for I think maybe we could put it on the agenda for next month. We do need to schedule a workshop to talk about the dark skies ordinance.
Been looking through that stuff, all
Okay,
that
we
stuff
looked
you
through
sent
all that
out.
stuff I sent, okay. If anybody doesn't still have all of that information that I emailed to everyone, a lot of, like, I don't even think I was on the board yet. I can send it again, I've got it all in my computer. And I had gone through and made a graph of every dark skies ordinance in the United States that was communities under 12,000 people, just because otherwise I'd been there for weeks. And all of their things that were important, ordinances, and then I also made notes about what I thought was, what I liked and what I did, because I figured if I did all that work, you were gonna get my opinion.
So people have been coming to me with complaints. And we do have an ordinance that does exist. And we talked, didn't make any decisions at our workshop. What are we doing for the interim?
Well, I think that kind of comes back to our, like, the workshop that we just had the other day regarding getting a position, a person in place, and going through and making our ordinances easier to understand and more black and white. I don't know, honestly, I don't know what can be enforced right now. I don't know, I mean, I know our ordinances are supposed to be enforced, and Randy brought this up when we start talking budget with the sheriff's department. Our ordinances are supposed to be enforced by the sheriff's department. So then the argument Randy was making is if they're not being enforced, then maybe we should talk about that when it comes to budget and money that they get from
I
us.
thought the comment was the opposite. The sheriff did not.
Sheriff
Right.
told me directly, they do not enforce.
I don't think that's
ordinances
correct.
Other than traffic
Yeah, I
and
remember that too.
roadway.
I don't think that's correct.
Because I brought it up to the sheriff, I've had a couple discussions with him. Nope, we're not involved with that.
I don't know if that's correct. I mean,
I think that's what we have, that's where the zoning enforcement officer is
Right.
is a position, is because that's how you enforce, you have to enforce your own zone.
Right.
all
And you
right.
can call the
Well,
sheriff.
so that's a question, and maybe that's in
Oh,
part a
right.
question for Dan.
Yeah.
Who enforces, I mean, I won't need to answer today, but who enforces our ordinances? But if it is what you say, that the sheriff only enforces those that are street related, we still don't have a person in place. to
You know, I'm
do
very
that.
aware of that. And what's happening is people are saying,
It's a free for all.
so do it. Yeah, I mean,
Do whatever they want.
so
Just like the grocery store has a very offending light right now, and I've asked them about it a couple times. And they're like, they just listen to me talk.
Well,
And they know that they're not gonna get hit with anything.
On that note, for this upcoming workshop, I've looked at all your guys' hard work from before. And all I'm gonna do is go through the electronic file and make whatever suggestions or changes or whatever I think are
Do you
appropriate
have
there.
Christie's data?
Yeah,
Not, the dark sky stuff
no, I'm talking about our workshop coming up
for the job.
for the
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
And Melanie and I have talked about this, and if everybody will do that on the electronic file and send her the electronic file, she can. merge
Randy
those.
doesn't know electronic.
I don't do electronics. See this right here?
We'll do as many as we can.
Yeah.
Start working on that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna just make a organize things on what's like number one priority versus I don't think we need to do
Well,
this.
the
Do it
thing is, you can do it
electronically,
within
sure.
the text that's already
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah.
she'll just merge them, and then we'll know
Okay.
what's happening.
That's a good idea.
That's good, so take advantage of that capability, and it'll help us all, then she can get those back to us. The merged ones, we'll plug and send them to you too, and then you can look at the ones, just, it's a comparison of all of them.
I'd forgotten, we were supposed to get our feedback in, right? Weren't we?
Right, but we're having the next meeting on the,
31st, so we've got time for that.
Not this
We got, just
Friday.
get it to Mel in time
The
for her to
next.
merge them.
yeah, okay. Anything else?
That should be top of the list right now.
At our next workshop, can we maybe, discuss the budget a little more about what we as a board would like to see?
We have that workshop scheduled on the 31st to talk about that position. So I don't know, is it appropriate, because it's pretty far ahead, we could add on to that workshop. We could add.
Well, I just wanted to get things out there that maybe, you want to see, or you want to see things that have been left in the, just hanging out there.
And some of that has to do with line items, like you mentioned tonight. That's very appropriate.
Yeah.
So if everybody's
and then
okay
there's
with
a-
adding that to that workshop on the 31st, which is scheduled for 10, I believe.
It's long. Will we provide lunch?
Well, we could.
Yeah, well, there's no Subway around, so you're gonna,
Yeah, we could get pizza, Rocket Pizza.
yeah.
Just a thought. I mean, if we're gonna really dive in, let's
We're gonna
spend some
dive in.
time.
Let's get it
I'd rather get it done than
Let's do it.
mess
Yeah,
around
so,
with multiple meetings.
full stomach.
That'll get art here.
Yeah, that, and a lot of these things, that I'd like to bring up too are projects that we started, well, we got grant money, it ended up we ran out of grant money and nothing was ever finished. Safe routes to school over
No,
there.
that's coming. We've got a kickoff on Thursday. It's not Safe Route to Schools anymore. It's Safe Streets for All.
Oh, okay,
And
so
there
we can
was-
get this stuff
I'm not
finished up.
kidding.
I believe you. I
And
love this.
do you want to
nomenclature
speak to
stuff.
that, Buck? Because it's COG and I don't know.
I could. I scored a $500,000 grant for, our town, West Cliff, and the 4 coal towns. It's-
Coaldale, Rockville.
It's for consulting and preparation because now all of the FDOT and CDOT rules for engagement for when you get grants for your streets and stuff require safety plans and all that stuff. And that's what SSR4A is gonna provide for all of us.
It also lets them dip into the safety money bucket.
Yes,
I get how.
Good.
so.
But
that piece-
things like that have been left, our drainage problem, we did all of this drainage and there's a dump right at the hospital or the clinic over there. And that was supposed to be a three-phase program and it ended up stopping right there and, we need to look at getting that water out of there. 'Cause otherwise, one of these days, what water? The water that floods the clinic all the time. They remember that.
We had the north and south fork of the Hood River going around Don's house.
Yeah.
So then-
You're living in that.
But anyway, I just want to.
It breaks right across my driveway.
Randy, why don't you work with, because I know you don't use a computer, so why don't you bring, because I know you walk all the time, so why don't you bring some of the things that you're seeing to Melanie and Aaron so they can start typing that up, so we kind of have a place to start with the discussion, and if anybody else has things like that they'd like to just email over or stop in and talk to them about. So we have a place to start. We're not just all sitting here going, oh, well, oh, let me remember, and we can really have we can be organized about it.
Okay. I have a question about the code enforcement officer. Does it have to be an employee of the town? Could it be a volunteer?
I don't know how that works. I think let's talk when we have our next workshop, when we talk about that position, if it's leaning toward that position would be code enforcement. And maybe that position is code enforcement and maybe we have assistance in code enforcement from an existing employee or something.
I can answer that one question about volunteer. Custer County just had, and they just finished their 90-day volunteer code enforcement. Yeah, because it was getting pretty big, and so
So I know a couple of people that
Send
might
it
volunteer
all.
for that.
it's a possibility, for sure. It should be part of the discussion.
Yeah, we can, so, anything else? And apparently, we don't have to adjourn the meeting, we can just be done.
It's just, it's your prerogative.
Yeah. My prerogative is to make a motion,
Well, see,
so.
yeah, the thing
someone-
is that you can,
That's fine.
well, if you want to do that way, that's fine, but the idea was to hold the meeting is that you also can curtail discussion. If somebody rambles on for 10 minutes, you can stop them.
I know I can, but I
You
do
should have stopped
feel
me
that.
tonight twice.
Well, I feel discussion is important, because then people leave and didn't get their, I think it's important to
Well, I
have
agree,
discussion,
but it's
so.
still your discretion, you know, you can do that.
Well, I'll be like,
So, we need to
it's
filibuster.
6 o'clock and I got things to do.
There you go.
No
That's-
more
that's one
discussion
way to
around.
do it.
No,
I move that we adjourn.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, everybody.
Don't
Thanks,
do it
Dan.
right to shut people
Yep,
down.
thank you all. Sorry for not being on screen.
Thank you, guys.
You know, sometimes if you're not